Hello and welcome to Protoss Platinum 1, boys. Yeah. We're getting ready to get promoted. You a Protoss player out there? You play Protoss? You want to know how to make it a diamond? Have you been stuck in plat your whole life? Well, if you have been, you know, it's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay? It's fine. But just know that if you watch this video to the end, you stick with me, you're going to be a diamond by tomorrow. Okay? You're just going to become you're going to go in a plat player, come out a diamond player. It's like a tunnel. Okay. So, anyways, what we're doing, guys, going back to basics, doing everything we've already talked about. This is we should, you know, if you guys have watched Platinum 2 and Platinum 3, we're a little bit more well versed as to, you know, what's going on in plat, but again, just as a little refresher, we have everything we're doing in bronze, silver, gold, which is basically developing habits, priorities, really just respecting macro, all that stuff. We're just really making sure we don't mess that up at all. And now adding in some logical thinking with a little bit of scout, a little bit more advanced scouting with logical thinking about it. Oh yeah. And there was recently a challenge on my stream, and all I can say about it is I'd totally do it, but I don't think it's happening. So we're just not, guys, YouTube people, don't even worry about it. I won't hype it up when it's not going to happen. Okay. All right, so we're looking for the Protoss's base here.
Burrito funds.
Yo, Sassy, thank you very much for those burrito funds. The burrito. Thank you, dude. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the 10. And, dude, we were talking about burritos. I'm really hungry. But you know what I'm eating? I'm eating ladder points. That's what I'm eating right now. So, Sassy, I appreciate you, and I 100% will eat that burrito later.
Burrito fund move.
Oh my god. Indie Wolf, thank you as well. Now I'm getting guac. Maybe double servings of guac. Okay, I'll double wrap that bad boy too. Thank you, dude. Guys, I appreciate you. All right. So we're going to make a stalker. We saw this guy opened up one gate, so we're going to go for a fast natural. Okay, so we're reacting to what we scouted. If this guy opened up with double gateways, we could also open up with double gateways to kind of match him. But, yeah. He didn't, so we didn't. So it's fine. We will, however, still make a second gateway now after we make the Nexus, so it's a little bit more economically optimal. But yeah. I tell you what, Mamo. Don't do it today. Do it tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow, you show up in my stream when I'm out of making a YouTube video. You donate me 150 bucks. I'll attempt to eat burritos.
First, just want to say much love to this B2TM series, but I feel like your macro and game sense used in these below diamond leagues are a few leagues higher than should be.
Sure.
Doesn't seem realistic,
Oh.
even if you purposely limit your micro.
But here's the thing. I have said there have been a couple times where I have talked. By the way, thank you for the 10. I do appreciate the 10. You're calling me out right now in my video, okay? Let me defend myself. There have been a couple times where I have said something like, so this is what this means, this is what this means. These are things to understand. If you don't understand them, it's not that big of a deal. If you understand nothing but this is all you should understand. And whenever I say shit like that, I'm referring, and I always refer to what it is. How can you tell if you're ahead or behind? In a simple way, and it's literally who has more money based off of your build. If you can just do that, that's super, 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 super important. Very useful information right there. It's very, very good. And yeah, that's really all you need. All you really do need to know. Everything, like, you will eventually learn more as you go. Okay, so hold on. Don't panic. Make batteries. Start chrono boosting my gateways. We need more stalkers now. Okay, he's got batteries. Let's just back up. He's doing the same thing to us as we're doing to him. You can also go ahead and make a couple more gateways. We're not panicking. Make more stalkers. We kind of don't really want to fight these until our batteries are done, ideally. Okay, and run away. Our batteries are finishing. We can chrono boost our gateways again. Keep making probes. Run away. Stay near our batteries. That's all it is. Stay near the batteries. So we just tried to keep building units. Keep making batteries. And guess what, guys? Oh, here he comes again on the other side, so let's make a couple batteries here. Attack towards him. Okay, he's going to attack this side. Let's go kill that adept. Keep making stalkers. Okay, he killed my pylon. Rebuild the pylon. We can build 2 pylons. Why not? Run away. All my units. Select all army. Run them back to my batteries. And just wait. Grab my other gateways. Oh, he killed my core. So now we can't make those anymore. Didn't realize he killed my core. Okay. Let's talk about this. So we just got all-in really hard by a proxy void. Okay, proxy voids. So nothing's happened so far. We're scouting, we're scouting, we're scouting, we're scouting, we're scouting. Blah 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 blah. No natural yet. No ramp. No walled is ramp. We see 1 gate, double gas. We see a core. This looks pretty standard for someone who looks like they probably want to expand. 1 gate, core, because we want to expand. We run away. Here's a way to fix the problem we just had, okay? This is a way we can fix everything that just happened. Instead of running my probe back to my base, how about next time we run our probe up to here, to his 3rd base, or something like that. We just go check and just, or not check, but we just sit here, hide the probe for a second. Just run it over here. And then we'd scout him again when we expand. So we do this then. We go, okay, well, our plan is to expand. We take a probe. We throw down our natural. We wait for like 10 seconds. Just in case this guy's a little bit not as optimal as we were. Just in case. Just for like 10 seconds. Not like a minute. Just like, we just like literally build the nexus and maybe like make a probe, make a pylon, make our next tech structure, whatever the hell we're going to do in our base. Just for a moment. Do that first. And then we could take our probe and go scout. And if we saw right now, if we started running down here, and we would have, let's just say it takes my probe like 6 seconds to go from here to here. At like 2:31, and we would see, oh, he doesn't have a natural. And our natural is like almost 20 seconds of the way done now. Our natural is much more, like, where is it? Why doesn't he not have a natural? And then we go like this. Let's say we run into his base, or let's just say the adept kills our probe. Either way, if my probe died to the adept, I'd be like, well, first of all, we're getting attacked by adept, and he's not expanding, so clearly he wants to do something, then expand. Secondly, if let's just say I barely missed the adept, and my probe comes in this way, and it barely doesn't die, and now I get into his main, and I see, oh, he still doesn't have anything. He has 1 gate and a core. If I could see this at this point in time, no natural, and this is all he has, this 100% tells us we're getting proxied. Because let's compare it to what we have in our base. We have, well, first of all, we have the natural, so that's a big cost. We have the exact same amount of production he does, but here we go. We have another pylon coming down now. He only has 2 pylons. So in our main, even though we took a natural, we still even have more things in our main than he does because we have another pylon than him. And then quickly after this, we have a gateway. So we have another tech build or another production building, and he hasn't done shit. Okay, there's another pylon. This is just, again, if he doesn't do something, it means something. So if we have the same thing, okay, if we have the same pretty much the same thing that he did for a while in the main, and I'm the one who has a natural that's halfway done, why the fuck does he not have a natural? And here's another thing, okay? Again, if you're platinum, I know we just got donated about this exact thing. If you're platinum, compare your build to their build. We have the same stuff as far as I see, but I have a natural and he doesn't. Okay, where does his money, what's happening with his money then? Like, what do you think he's doing? It's probably something is being proxied. That's what would make sense, because the only other thing that could make sense here then is, oh, this guy just has 1,000 minerals. He has 600 still even right now because he's saving money to make batteries and shit like that. But you would, you know, there would be a big discrepancy in where the hell his money's going. Because here's the thing. Think about this. We have 20 probes, guys. Okay? We have 20 probes and it's still going up. We have a natural. And he's not making probes either. He's stopped making probes. Like, where is all of his money going? We're still investing lots of money into economy. If he's investing nothing into economy, there's a big ass discrepancy of what is going on with his money. And again, if you're in platinum and your mindset immediately goes, he's just not spending it. Well, that's fucking, no, that's not true. Don't ever think that. Don't ever think, oh, my opponent just sucks. That is the mindset of someone who is going to lose the game. That means you don't actually think logically. It means you're just like, oh, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's the kind of person you're going to be if you just say, oh, well, he's just bad. You shouldn't expect your opponent's bad. If they're bad, it should just be a nice surprise where you think they're doing something good and efficient. You think about the efficient ways that they can play from the position they're in. And if they suck, then you go, oh, well, he actually just sucked. So that's fine. I just get a free win because that, like, what was that supposed? That was supposed to be an attack. Okay, that was actually really weak. Then that would be a free win, and you realize, oh wow, this guy's actually just not good. But still, every time you should think, okay, this guy actually has a lot of potential for money here. Plus, he has so much gas, and he's not using it at all. And again, if you can see buildings, you can see. Look at the difference of core. Okay, do you see my core? Look at that shit. You see how my core is like gears are turning constantly and shit, and it's lighting up. Now let's look at his core. It's pretty dead in there. Not much is going on. So we can also tell he's not even getting warp gate. He's not getting anything on the core. There's a lot of things we can tell from this build. Again, there's lots of scouting here that we could talk about, and some of it could be intricate. And I know some of you guys that are in plat are like, ViBE, this is what I'm. This is too advanced, ViBE. It's too much. That's all you got to know. Where the fuck is his money going? Clearly not to an expansion. Clearly he doesn't want to make probes and expand. So he wants to do something.
www, yeah, shoddy. Tell him about that Protoss at top.
Hello, Bacon, thank you. Thank you for the 100 bits. And guys, I didn't even react to this as if I knew it was Void Ray. I didn't even know anything. I knew nothing. I was basically Jon Snow. Okay? And look, we currently have a lot of batteries setting up against our main. We currently have an adept in our main who's popping some probes. We are doing a standard build of going into a robo. We're going robo, okay? That's standard. We're going to scout him again with our hallucinated Phoenix in just a moment. And we're making Stalkers still, because that is, again, Stalkers are the most versatile A-move unit we can make at this point in time. That is the reason why every single game I've told you guys in every league for Protoss, yeah, we should just make Stalkers. I've even debated it, been like, maybe. I do know Adepts would be better right now, but yeah, no, we should just make Stalkers because Stalkers are versatile and it's easier to understand right now. So we always make Stalkers. We always make Stalkers. It's just we make the 1 Sentry now for advanced scouting, but we always still make Stalkers to start the game off. And it's for things like this. This exact game is a perfect example of why we do that. So he comes over here and he kills 3 probes with that adept. I'm still maintaining a nice 7 probe juicy lead. We have Stalker popping out, warp gates finishing. Kill a probe in my main base. That was a bit weird, right? Like, whenever I see that, I was literally thinking like, why is your probe curving to the left and why is it coming my base right now? Are you trying to cannon me or some shit? Like, it was weird. I was like, this is awkward. But I'm still not preparing for cheese at the moment. I don't even know what's happening because we didn't scout with the probe. If we scouted with the probe, we could have figured this out way sooner. Like the follow-up scout to see if he was going to expand or not. So we'll do that in the future. But now we're going to scout, okay? Now we are going to scout with the Phoenix. And look at this. As we're mid-scout with the Phoenix, your probes are under attack by Void Rays. Okay, well, yeah. You don't need to know anything now. When you see this in your base, you should not think, oh, this guy's expanded. Totally. Like, this guy has an expansion. He totally does. This guy is macroing his ass off. No, this is so fucking expensive. And again, if you have no idea how expensive this actually is, well, you should figure that out. If you're a Protoss player, you should at the very least know how expensive your own units are. If I ask you guys, how much does a Void Ray cost? Do you know that? If you don't know that, you should figure that out. How much does a Stargate cost? If you don't know that, you should also figure that out. And just to show you guys, it's 250, 150 for a Void Ray. And then it's 150, 150 for a Stargate. So this right here proves that there has been 650 minerals that has been spent and 450 gas. That's not cheap. That's that is just as expensive as my army. Over here, pretty much. And if I'm tapping myself out here with my production, well, so is he. So this is not something where you should just be like, he's got fucking 2 extra bases. You know what I mean? And then also, so this is the initial part of this. This already tells us, okay, yeah, this is really early and there's 2 voids in my base. He might even have a 3rd one in production right now, somewhere over here. It also tells us the location of where it is. I would expect the Stargate to be like right there. I would assume there would be a Stargate proxied somewhere over here now because he's right here. Like, he's not going to proxy down here and then fly up and around all the way around the side and then come around to my main. He's going to proxy over here then. And obviously it was proxied over here. We don't know that, but it doesn't matter. We know it's proxied to the left side of my main. But now look at the reaction, okay? So he gets in my base, and what do? We just start poking him with some stalkers. And here's how this goes. And we also start making batteries. I just like shift build a couple batteries. We don't want to take a fight against these Void Rays until the batteries are done. But here's what we can do. We can attack him with our stalkers. If he does not turn on prismatic alignment, we can let our stalkers just do their thing. If he does turn it on, which means his Void Rays get this like big, massive, like just like electric field in their face, basically, we can run away. We can just be like, stalkers, run down here. Because Void Rays get really, really slow when they turn on prismatic alignment. So all we're trying to do, this is the goal right now. All we're trying to do now, because now we know what his build is, it's proxy voids. We should know that. If you don't know that, please, if anyone is in the chat right now, in Twitch, and you don't realize why this is proxy voids, please feel free to tell me why you're confused. But again, we're gonna need shield batteries. Okay, just fighting straight up stalkers and straight up voids is not going to be a great fight for either one of us. Whoever has shield batteries and maintains more units longer is probably going to win, because you know what the limiting factor here is? It's gas. Both of us have enough minerals to make our armies and then some more. But neither one of us has enough gas to overwhelm the other one right now. And it's because it's really early game. Okay? Like, we don't have like 6 or 8 gas mines mining right now. We have 2 each at this moment in time. So our gas is very limited, and we're tapping out our production with our gas, more or less. But now I just invested into a building that's not going to help me at all with my gas. So I'm not going to make these units at all. Like, why would I make immortals at this point if I know I'm fighting proxy voids? It doesn't help at all because these things can't hit air and they're expensive. So what I can do now instead is I can use my minerals to invest into more production, into gas units that can fight air, like his Void Rays. Which is stalkers to his Void Rays. So that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to get batteries down, which is it's going to retain our gas units, just like he should be doing too. That's the only way this makes sense. And then going from there. And then we can see a battery healing a void. So now we're like, yep, he's got batteries. So let's not fight him and his batteries. Let's just back up, because I don't give a shit if his Void Rays sit right here. I could care less. I could care less if the Void Rays sit right there the whole time, because they're not killing anything. However, if he attacks over here, he's not in void ray range, or he's not in shield battery range with his void rays, so they will take serious damage then. And he then, over time, will be in my range of my battery. So now he turned on the alignment. Let's run away. And we just keep macroing. And we're now, again, the other thing too is, here's another way to confirm this, okay? So we sent out our hallucinated Phoenix. And just check this out. Our hallucinated Phoenix confirmed for sure, if anyone was confused at all at this point in time, if anybody was confused, we just confirmed he still has not expanded. We should kind of know he hasn't expanded because this is really early and this is really expensive. This 100% means he went 1 gate and a core because he wanted to rush a Stargate and proxy voids really fast. Void rays take a while to build, so this is very early for having multiple voids. And then we confirmed it that he's again not expanding. So this again should be a tell for us that we should go, oh, well, if I lose some probes or if I lose a couple stalkers or if I lose a couple things here and there, it's not that big of a deal because now I have more economy than he does because I have an expansion and I've been making workers this whole time and he hasn't because he has not expanded. And on top of that, I also have just more chrono boost to work with because I have multiple nexuses. So I can actually double chrono my gates to keep up with his proxy Stargate. Even if I take initial losses heavier than he does, I can produce faster than he does. Again, this is how we're solving the problem with macro. This is a proxy void ray problem that gets solved with macro. So look, he's out of range of battery. He's attacking my building. We're attacking him. And we will not chase him all the way to battery, but if he wants to, if he attacks my stalkers, we can decide to run away. Whatever, you know, we're poking him around our area. There's no reason why we shouldn't poke it right now. And then he kind of backs up. We kind of back up. We wait. We make another round of units. We poke him again. We back up. We're just trying to waste his time. That's all we're doing. Waste his fucking time. Every second he spends running around with his voids and not attacking something is great because every second that goes by that we get closer to having a core is amazing. Or a shield battery is amazing. And look at the stalkers. We're still fighting only 2 voids. And now finally a 3rd one shows up. But we killed the first one because he stayed too long out of shield battery range. And now it started off with 3 stalkers fighting 2 voids. And now it's 5 stalkers versus 2 voids. Because we're producing faster than he is because we're double chronoing. Why chrono boost my probes right now if we know we're getting all in? It's the exact same thing. Like, I was going to say things about Terran, but I don't expect my Protoss viewers to watch my Terran videos. Let's just say this. Why would I want to chrono boost my probes right now if we know this guy is literally playing for a 1 base situation? I can still make probes, but I already am mining so much more than he is. We have a fully saturated natural versus no natural at all. We already have an expansion. So, but the only thing that's really the real threat in this game is not, oh, I need to catch up. I need to be ahead of him. It's really, I need to make sure I don't die right now. So if we just utilize our chrono boost now, our extra bonus production on unit production rather than worker production, it's going to increase the chances we don't die here. You could say the exact same thing about any other type of all-in that is actually really heavily pressuring you. Like, what if I was getting baneling busted and I was like, oh shit, like I might die right now. You could totally chrono boost your units. Chrono boost some gateways. Get some more sentries out or whatever the hell you want. Chrono boosting whatever you need at that point in time is a great idea. If it's going to be a macro game, chrono boosting workers develops for a macro game stronger. If it's going to be an all-in defense, chrono boosting your production of units makes your defense stronger against getting all-in. So it increases our chances to not die. And now he overcharges his void, so we back up. And we just back up to batteries. Batteries are done now, and now we feel great. All we got to do is stand next to our batteries, and we're good. And again, we added more gateways to this. So now we're going to be making even more stalkers even faster.
I am here in the shadow.
Then we go kill the adept.
I am here in the shadows.
He actually didn't kill my core. Why could I not make stalkers? I don't know. Oh, it's because I was supply blocked. I was like, why can't I make stalkers? But he kills my pylon, and all my batteries are underpowered. But again, look at the amount of units now. We have 2 voids versus 8 stalkers now. Our product, and we're about to be making 4 stalkers at a time as soon as we're not supply blocked anymore. Let alone the fact that the batteries are underpowered, and this would make it even better. We already have enough stalkers to really kick the shit out of these voids, and these voids are almost dead as it is. If we pop their shields, they just die because they're so low now because they've taken hull damage previously. So this is a great defense. We're looking solid. This was not a panic. This was like, oh, well, we didn't even realize he was doing this, and then we just reacted. And we did not worry about anything other than the fact that we were relying 100% on our production, which was guarding our production. Making a solid choice to go, okay, chrono boost my production, keep making probes to increase that production, add more production, because we can't use this anymore. This is pointless now, the robo. And then we'll just add some batteries, which will maintain units better. That's all it was. And suddenly we just crapped on this build really hard. And then the game's over. The one thing a lot of people, guys, this is something I'll say right now too. And I think this is always really funny because I feel like we've proved it so many times, but people just don't want to believe this. In my YouTube videos that I've made so far for Bronze to GM, I have had so many YouTube comments that I've seen that say things like this. Man, you really play greedy, and if you just got attacked by like 1 oracle, you'd be dead. Or if you just made a BC, you'd be dead. And these are in videos that are like gold 1 or bronze 2 or silver 3. And that's happened to us every time. Like every single time in every one of those leagues, we have dealt with things like that already. We have been I got blindsided by a 2 oracle opener in one of my videos before with Protoss, and I lost like 40 probes or something, or like it was like 26 probes, I think. We lost like 26 probes in the first like 6 minutes of the game. But it didn't matter because if your opponent doesn't fucking make workers because they go for a 1 base all in, you can lose a lot of workers and you're still fine. It's the power of macro. So people just need to really think about how to solve problems with macro rather than other things. Like if you were to see this and be like, well, I better pull my probes in base trade. The only answer is to literally pull my probes now and go attack his nexus. Or I gotta let my base die because it's impossible to defend now. Even though you could make batteries and just buy time with stalkers. Like a lot of people, they freak out and they don't really just think of the fact that if you are mining more than your opponent and you are getting all in, all you got to do is invest a little bit more into defense. The batteries is what we did for that. And then chronoing our gates. You just do a little bit more in defense once you're getting all in, and you can totally defend all ins, even though you're macroing. Just because you macro doesn't automatically mean you lose if you get all in. And then the best way to do this as well is when you scout the all in before it happens. And how did we talk about that already? We talked about leaving a probe here and comparing comparing natural to natural. He had the same exact opener I did, which was not aggressive in the form of gateway count. So I took a natural and he didn't. And if I would have compared that and went, why don't you have a natural? That would have been so much information right there from the beginning. We just never scouted it until after we were already getting hit by Void Rays. But to be honest, I'm actually really glad this game went this way, because I feel like a lot of people, if they don't scout voids before they get hit by voids, I feel like they would just die to this. And it's really not that hard to stop it. What if it's a hidden base? Again, that is a question that comes from someone who does. I would say the only reason why you would ask that question, and I'm not trying to single you out, I love you, man, but just think about it like this. If you understand how much shit costs, you would know there's no hidden base. It's impossible for him to have a hidden base. There is no way this dude could hit me with Void Rays this fast, and on top of that, have multiple of them, and on top of that, also somehow be able to squeeze out a Nexus and a full line of probes. It's impossible. The only way this guy could have a Nexus as well that is proxied on the map somewhere would be if this Void Ray timing hit later. Because of this. Right? No. First time the Voiders show up in my base, if you understand the cost of units, he's made an Adept and 2 Voids so far, And an Adept and 2 Voids is more expensive than this army. 2 Voids is about the same as this army. But also we have to account for the fact that he also made a Stargate, which is more expensive than a Robo when it comes to like gas. And then, you know, that like a lot of these things are like, okay, this guy has spent, this is expensive to do this. And then furthermore, when we push him back and we see that, there is no fucking way he's going to also be able to proxy batteries and have a Nexus. You should not be thinking this guy has a natural. And even if he did, okay, let's just pretend he did. And you're having a hard time understanding the level of things, basically. You're like, okay, well, what if he does have a proxy Nexus right here or something? I don't know. We can just say this, okay? If you want to think about this in terms of efficiency, and you're not really sure about the timing of Void Rays and cost of Void Rays and cost of all of it, even if he proxied a Nexus, we would still have a better worker saturation than he does, because our probes get built, go mine, get built, go mine, get built, go mine. His probes would be built and they would have to run across the entire map. And the only way he could avoid doing that is if he popped a recall on like 10 probes. But if he pops a recall, he loses a chrono boost. So that's another lead we get where we can chrono boost our probes, chrono boost our probes, chrono boost our probes. If he was doing a macro Void Ray proxy. Like, we're going to have a lead in some way, shape, or form in one way or another as long as we just do an efficient build, is my point. There is no way he can proxy and be more efficient than we are unless we get fucked up by it and take a lot of damage. It's impossible. That's my point I'm trying to make. Pardon the noob question, but would it make sense to think unit cost in terms of probe gathering times, or is that pointless? Don't think about it. Like, you should understand that a probe mines about like 1 mineral per second. You should know that. And 3 probes can mine roughly like 130 gas a minute as well, roughly. So like, if we want to average it out, like you can just literally put like this basic average in your mind where you say 1 probe mines 2 gas a second, and it mines maybe one mineral a second, 2 gas a second. That's what probes mine. You can just average it like that if you really wanted to. It's not exactly like that, but you can average that. Minerals is very close though. The gas one's not as close. Minerals is very close. Like, that's actually very, very close to being accurate. Like, it's within a decimal of that. But you don't have to think about it exactly like that. You should only think about, what have I done and what is my opponent showing me that he's done? That's how you should think about it. So for instance, if I'm all in, my build I'm basing my thought process off of is an all-in build. So if my opponent has a fully saturated natural and I'm all in, well, that should be pretty standard, and I should know that he's mining more than me, but I should also have more army because of that. It's like confirming that he's not investing into army when I am, so my chances of killing him are going to go up if he doesn't defend properly. Vice versa, if I'm macroing and I have a fully saturated natural and my opponent has a lot of units right now and doesn't have a natural, I can know that I've invested into more economy and he hasn't. You base your opponent's build off of your build. You do not base it off of random thoughts of like, let me just do the math right now. He's probably mined like 600 resources of this, and no, don't think of it like that. That's going to be confusing as fuck. Just based off of your build. Here's an example. I just chrono boosted my Nexus. Okay? I just chrono boosted my Nexus. So my Nexus has 58 energy. 59. 60. And what is the result of me chrono boosting my Nexus right now? More probes. I just chrono boosted a second time. Now my Nexus has 15. And what is the result of this? More probes again. Look at his Nexus. Same thing. He's done the exact same thing as me. He's gone for 2 gates though. So we can match that and make a second gate as well. But we've both chrono boosted twice, so neither one of us should be like, what's he saving chrono for? We should both be thinking, okay, we have like the same amount of money right now. That's what we should be thinking. We're tied in the money department. So if we base our build off his build, we're even right now. No one's ahead right now. If this guy did not chrono boost, I would say I'm ahead in economy already because I'm mining a little bit more than he is because I made probes faster. And that's just the first scout. There's lots of scouts that tell us more and more. But that is the first one. That is looking at his probe line and looking at his gas saturation. His initial opener with buildings, but like also looking at the whatever it's called, the Nexus energy. Okay, let's see if our stalker in the front of our base. Send our probe back into his natural and let's just see if he's expanding. Because again, this is like 10 seconds after. It's something we just said we would do last time. No expansion. So you know what that makes me think? Why is he not expanding? I guarantee this guy has a tech structure. It's the only thing that makes sense. Guaranteed this dude's got a Stargate or a Robo already. Because we're basing it off of our build, not off of how much he's mining. Okay, well we just kind of fucked up our... Okay, we're gonna take some damage here. Just pull my boys mineral walk, that whatever. Boys, fuck them up. Mind my patches again. Fix my economy. Send it to mineral lines again. The correct bases. Okay, we're good. And now we're gonna chrono boost out a hallucinated phoenix, and we're gonna scout what is happening. Let's also start a Robo. Robo is the more solid choice. It's a more versatile choice. Even though it might be Stargate, we could even cancel the Robo if it is a Stargate for now, but Robo's a more versatile choice. What's he got? He's got a Nexus now. He's got a fucking Warp Prism. And it looks like he's just gonna hit us with Warp Prism something inside. And also this Templar Archive, or the Twilight Council tells us there's no DTs, there's no charge lots, there's no Blink Stalkers, there's no Adept upgrade, because he doesn't have an upgrade yet. So that Prism's really early. Super early. But that tells us we're ahead because this natural's not even done yet. And even though we took probe losses, I've got 9 on my natural, so I can go back to chrono boosting my probes because I'm not afraid of his army. And my economy is going to kick in even faster now, and I'm sure I'll be making army just as fast as he is. I have no reason to fear him right now. His army did not look scary, and he invested into the economy, which means I can reinvest into my economy. It's not an all-in. His build, there's one word to describe his build right now. One perfect word, and I've said it many times in the series. It's inefficient. He invested into a build that looks like an all-in, but then he expanded before he all-in, so it doesn't make any sense. So now, if you read it like that, we know we're in a great spot. And here comes the timing. So now he's going to attack anyways, even though he's expanding. There we go. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, let's go back to my main. We can be like, probes, run over here. Shift click the mineral line, run back. Stalkers, don't engage yet. Carnibus probes. Even though I just lost like probably 5 probes right there, I'm still in a pretty damn good spot. There's no reason to feel like I'm not. Because again, don't forget what you've scouted already. We just scouted. Oops, I did not mean to chrono boost that. I meant to start a charge upgrade, but it's fine. Just know, we did just scout. Okay, here we go. He's attacking us again. Pull our probes. This is an awkward location. It's an awkward position to be in. Like on the ramp, it just feels weird. Okay, he's done. Let's pull our probes back to the mineral line. A move him with my whole army. Saturate my gases properly. And let's go take a third in a second, because we're still maximizing our production. We're still capping it out. And you know what? Screw it, dude. Let's go attack his base. This guy, we know this guy's behind in economy. We'll explain this more when we go in the replay. I'll kind of come back to that point. But we know he's behind in economy, and we know he's really behind in army now because he just failed at timing. He just got destroyed right there. So let's go attack him. Let's take a hallucinated Phoenix and let's just make sure before we go into his base that he's not being greedy and taking a third base. Okay, we are blocked. Is there a third base? Yes or no? The answer is no. Okay, let's watch the army just for a second. Keep making units. This fight looks okay for us. Doesn't look that bad. Let's go back and make macro, just macro shit out. Okay, we can rally point to our third base.
Research complete.
Let's start making zealots, because now we can go into charge the Archon Immortal. Okay, so it makes sense that we took that attack because he just lost everything a second ago. And, you know, we can totally take advantage of that. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. This is really just understanding. And we really used the thing we just talked about with the probe hiding. When we see a guy's build who might expand and we see he doesn't expand, it puts us in a position where we should be defensive, but if he attacks us and throws everything away, we can be aggressive then with a logical, educated guess about it. It's like it makes sense then. ViBE, did you cover your thought process on your defense forces? What do you mean? Well, I mean, we're going to talk about everything, but I don't... Because I made stalkers? Is that what you're saying? I pretty much always make stalkers. In platinum and below. I don't ever change my opener. Like, it's pretty much always the same thing. It's very rare that it's different. But we can, again, we'll talk about it. So look at this. We scouted 2 gates, a core, and 2 gases. We also scouted earlier that he had the same chrono boost energy as us. We checked that. That was something we looked at. So we... Hold on. Let's go through.
Now that I think about it, your macro/game sense seemed too high to me since players in these leagues focus on the wrong things, which is exactly what you're teaching. I take it back on calling you out. Sorry.
No worry. I was like, wait, what? I had to read that again. I didn't really hear what you said the first time. But no worries, dude. Don't worry about the call out. I don't mind. I mean, here's the thing, right? I am someone that is totally down to have a debate with someone else about something. I will never take personal offense to someone saying you're wrong. But if you tell me I'm wrong like 5 times, I'll be like, get the fuck out of my stream. But no, for real. I don't mind having a discussion with somebody, so it's totally fine. It's not a big deal. But I 100% agree with what you said in that second donation, the second message there, where you said players in low leagues focus on the wrong thing. That is very true, because players in low leagues don't focus on anything. They only focus on... Oh, I saw Showtime. I watched a Showtime game. And he does this build where you do this like adept attack, and then you go into this like warp prism timing with stalkers. And he fucking destroyed Protoss with that. So I'm just... Even though I don't know if I'm even executing it the same way he did, I'm trying to do it what he did. Like, that's how people that are low league think. I'm not even kidding. They just try a build that's a pro build, and they're like, I don't... See how it goes. And it's so fucking far from what it's actually supposed to be. It's not even remotely what it is.
Teach us, oh masterful one, teach us, we are not Maru.
Yo, thank you very much, Biggles, for the bits. Appreciate you, dude. I will teach you. And, yo, thank you again also, Anti-Chart for the dono as well. But people in low league, they just don't understand what's actually happening. They just think that if I copy a pro's opener, then I'm going to be better. But they don't know why they're doing it. They have no idea what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And honestly, if like, let's just say it was a Showtime build, okay? I'll use him as an example again. And he did it in a game, and he were to tell you, if someone asked him in an interview, hey, so why did you do the adept timing the way you did? And let's say he goes, oh, because the guy, my opponent, didn't wall his base the way he should have against, that was good against adepts. Let's say he built it over here, and I scouted that with my probe, and that automatically makes adepts way more valuable. So my adepts did more damage than they should have, and then I followed it up with my prism timing because my adepts slowed him down, so there was no way he could defend a prism timing. And then it makes sense, and you're like, oh shit, okay, yeah, that makes logical sense. I totally get why he did that. But if you're like, he just did it and it worked, then you don't fucking know what you're talking about. You're like, well, I don't know. It might work. It's like flipping a coin at that point. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to, again, I'm not calling anybody out when I'm saying you. I'm just saying in general, person doesn't know. And what I'm, you know, what really, that's how the average platinum and below player think. That even diamond players think like that. Even masters, like, dude, there's even GM players who think like that. There are literally GM players who don't even know anything and they just copy. And they're just full execution players. They have no logical game sense. It happens all the time. So I'm just really trying to expand people's minds, really. And I don't mind if you guys debate with me if you think it's a good or bad idea. But I think it is really good to make people start understanding why things are good and bad. Like just knowing if you're in a good or a bad position in a game, and not just like being like, I have to copy a build. Anyways, moving on. So, and thank you again, Hellbacon, for the bit. So we got, you know, our build, we matched his gateway with our gateway count. We scouted it, we're matching it. We're going to expand while we make units. We're playing efficiently, we're playing economically.
Wrong.
Fancy chart. Thank you for the donation. The way that bot said that was funny. Thank you, dude. Okay. So, we just expanded. And, it's like, again, like 10 seconds after we expanded. This is giving him time to match what we're doing, even if it's slightly late. We see nothing. So look at this. Nothing's there, guys. Our expansion is 18 seconds of the way, once again, into... This is exactly the timer we said last game that it would happen. We see we are 18 seconds in, and he has nothing. That wasn't me. It was still really funny, so I don't care. We're 18 seconds into our expansion, and he doesn't have one. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean that he's just not macroing. It means that he's doing something else with his money. And let's see what that is. He went for a robo. It means he went gateway, core, robo. Like, you have to assume they're spending their money. And also, look, even more gates. You have to assume that they're spending their money. You cannot just think that your opponent is AFK. So this tells us our opponent is going to do something more aggressive again, and we should definitely, you know, take that into account. It doesn't mean we need to, it doesn't mean right now I got to be like, chrono boost my gateways, we're getting all in. This is not a guaranteed all in, but it does mean he's going to be aggressive. Or he should be aggressive, because otherwise it's inefficient. We kind of fucked up our, we just built a pylon right here. I could have totally canceled it and then built another one there, but whatever, it's fine. I messed it up a little bit, and we let 2 adepts get into our base. These 2 adepts kill some probes. Ultimately, we lose 6 probes to that. And now, losing 6 probes to 2 adepts, and also a little bit of mining time, I can totally say that is not good for us as, you know, as the defender of that. Losing 6 probes definitely sucks early on like this, but I can also say he just threw away 2 units. Even though he killed 6 probes, he lost 2 adepts in the process of that, and we didn't see an expansion from him because we scouted it. So even though I lost 6 probes, we will recover that probe count we just lost. We will match him again in the future. At the very, even if he's expanding right now, I would still be able to match him, because we're going to be able to produce probes at a faster pace than him for a while, because we expanded way earlier than he did. And him losing 2 units, if he doesn't expand, him losing 2 units is going to weaken the amount of army he has later on. I would say 6 probes is like cutting it close to, it's almost enough probes that died for us to make it to where now there's no way we defend this. It's close. It's on the threshold. There are certain points in time where even if you have 2 adepts kill like 12 probes, the person's economy just sucks so bad now that they're never going to be able to stop the all-in that comes after. 6 probes is like, that's close. It's close. It's almost too many, but I still think we could defend. And again, what are we going to do to figure this out? We're going to make a hallucinated phoenix. We're going to go scout. And we're still just doing the blind robo because it's more versatile than a Stargate. We're making a blind robo because this can be, we can make immortals if we're getting immortal all end. We can make immortals if we're getting gateway all end. We can make observers if we're getting DT all end. We can make all these different kinds of things. The only thing we can't make to deal with properly if we make a robo is a Stargate. But if he makes a Stargate, we could just make a battery in each mineral line, and we're already making Stalkers, and battery Stalker can deal with a Stargate. So this is probably one of the most well-rounded defensive openings you could do. With, you know, if you're just going to be really greedy for basic understanding. And then we scout. Oh, look, this guy has a natural. So now we automatically know. Okay, well, the all-in is not coming. It shouldn't come. Because if he's going to make a natural, guys, that's going to severely delay the all-in. These are the things I really want people to be able to understand. Like, and also Biggles, thank you very much for continuing that gifted sub, man. If I am going to all-in my opponent, okay? If I'm red, and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to all-in your ass with my 4 gates and my robo. Every second counts. If I'm going to do that, every second counts. So I don't want to expand after I build all my production for all-in. I don't want to then be like, you know what I'm going to then do? I'm going to expand, which is going to take the amount of money I could have used on 1 full round of warp-ins. I could have made 4 zealots with that nexus, which is 4 gateways worth of minerals. But instead I wanted to make a nexus. So now my all-in is going to be delayed by 400 minerals, which takes a while to mine off of 1 base. It takes a decent amount of time. It takes like 20 seconds, or like 25 seconds. So if my all-in is going to be like 20 to 25 seconds delayed now, that's kind of a shitty all-in. So seeing that, and then again, what that means is if he does all-in me, we'll still be fine if we just macro. And we're just doing our build as is. We're not chrono boosting our gates because his shit's delayed now. So it's things that you should not be worried about. It's inefficient. It doesn't make sense in terms of hitting that perfect timer. And if we just, and again, this is why, this is the concept I'm really trying to teach you guys that makes everything make sense. Doing something wrong efficiently beats doing something right inefficiently. Now here's how this makes sense. Let me again, what we just said is how it makes sense, but let me just try to make it really basic. If I chrono boost my nexus when I'm getting all in, that is wrong. It's efficient, but it's wrong. Okay? But if I all in somebody and they're chrono boosting their nexus, that is correct. That is right. But then if I go, you know what, I'm going to build a fucking nexus before I do the all in, that is inefficient. So efficient builds just beat inefficient builds. That's just how it works. And the entire time from bronze till now, I've been teaching you guys efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. It's the only thing I've been trying to like drill into you guys is how to be efficient. That's why so many times I'll be like, oh fuck, I lost 30 probes. I lost 25 probes. We're still ahead. I lost 170 probes. Oh, we still won the game though. That actually happened. If you guys didn't see that game, we lost 170 probes one time and still won.
I'm here in the shadows.
But yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys know this much. 5 production facilities when you don't even have a natural, and then you build a natural, it doesn't make any sense. Because you can't even sustain production on 5 production facilities on 1 base. You will never be able to sustain 100% uptime. And then on top of that, if you just go, you know what, now what I want to do is build a natural nexus. That makes it even more so that you can't sustain this. And now that adds an extra cost in your build, which is now you got to start making probes. So if you start making probes too, you'll never sustain uptime on 5 production facilities either. You'll be able to sustain production on like 2, maybe 3. And then you'll be able to sustain production on all 5 once you have the natural fully saturated. But think of how much time was wasted on all these gateways and robo. It's not efficient. The Ultra Hugs, thank you very much for the 15 months, man. And again, look at this. Natural says 5. He's rotating a couple more probes down. Main is 16, fully saturated. Natural is at 5. Our main is 16, fully saturated. Our natural is at 15. So we have 10 more workers than him for nothing is, we have 10 more workers than him and we lost 6 probes. And let's look at army supply, okay? Let's look at this too. Let's compare army sizes right now. We have a Protoss player who's on 5 gates and a robo versus another Protoss player who's on 2 gates and a robo. He has more than double my gateway production. Army supply for me is 20. Army supply for him is 12. Does that make any fucking sense? He has less army supply than me and he has more than double the production. The answer is no. It doesn't make any sense because it's not efficient. That's my point. And now we'll pause it when he does the actual all-in. And you guys got to keep this in mind too, okay? I'm gonna pause it right here. You gotta keep in mind, he's had these gateways longer as well. He's had this production longer than me. Not only does he have more production, but he's had it longer than me because I made a Nexus first. He built production instead of a Nexus. I built a Nexus, and then later on when I had a lot of probes, I built more production, which was 1 robo. We both had 2 gateways at the same time. Pretty much. So 2 gates versus 2 gates pretty much at the same time. I expanded and he made a robo, and then he made 2 gateways when he made the robo as well. So he has had 5 gates in a robo ever since I've had probably my natural at 50% of the way done. Before I even had any saturation on it. So he's had that fucking setup for like 3 minutes now. Or like 2.5 minutes. And now the timing is here and he's going to attack me. And let's look at army size. I am at 25 army size. He is at 20. I'm still ahead. Efficiency versus not efficiency. It is correct to all in somebody who is being greedy, which is what we're being. But it doesn't matter if it's inefficient, which is what he is. And this is why I tell people who are low-level players to not worry about the build. If this guy, let's just say this was a Showtime build. Let's just say Showtime did a build where he had 2 adepts getting the base, and then he went for a Prism Robo, like a Prism Immortal Stalker timing, and he did this like really crazy micro with the Prism, and like say it was like basically artificial blink. And then he won the game because he broke the ramp of his opponent. Trying to do a build like this when you don't really understand efficiency and understand concepts of StarCraft, it's not going to be the same build. It's going to be fucking terrible. And it doesn't just come down to going, I could have won this if I macroed better. It comes down to the fact that your macro is terrible and you need to work on your macro. And I'm not, again, I'm gonna hide this guy's name. I'm not trying to shit on this guy. I'm not singling him out. I'm just trying to make a point. It's just inefficiency does not work. Because like, look at this. We have the most awful engagement here. We have units stuck on the ramp. This is not a great location to be at. We even have probes getting stuck behind my army when I'm like, okay, fucking pull the probes. This is a weird spot. Like, I have units being stuck back here too. It's just, this is terrible efficiency for my army. But we have so much shit that it doesn't matter. Micro is not why you're in platinum, it's macro. And that's the point where I'm really just hammering that point in right now. Because this game is a great example of that. And then, again, what do? I don't micro this army at all. We just decide, as soon as we realize he doesn't have a third, and we also know he has less economy than we do because of how inefficient his build was, all the way up to this point, because we keep scouting him with Hallucinated Phoenix. And we scouted his natural timing with our probe. We know that our build is just more efficient. And he also just threw his army away. Those 2 things combined means that we know we have a lead right now that is a nice, juicy supply lead. And we go, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do a timing and let's just see what happens. And we're macroing behind this. So even if he somehow establishes a defense, we can be like, well, we macroed the whole time during that fight. So even if I lose this army, I will still be in a good spot. And all we're doing is, again, we look for a third, and then we look at his base for 1 second. We just look at it for a second and go, is this going to be a stupid or a good choice? And look at the amount of units I have. Look at the amount of units that he has. This is not overwhelming numbers that I'm like, oh god, okay, you know what? This is a bad choice. If he already had shield batteries done, and if he already had an equal amount of army to me than what I have, let's just say hypothetically that happened. Let's say you didn't read the game as well as you would have liked, and you're like, okay, his army's actually kind of scary. This is a lot. You could totally back up. You do not have to take this fight. You do not have to take this fight. And you know why? That's why. This is why you don't have to take that fight. Not because of well, this is a good reason too, but it's not because of this. It's not because of this. It's because of this. Your third base. Because I will say, there is no reason why this guy should not have a fully saturated mineral line right now. The reason why he doesn't is because he's not making probes, and instead he's attacking me repeatedly with the prism, with the adepts, with the timing. He keeps attacking me. And he doesn't make probes because he's too obsessed with micro. He could have a lot more probes than he does. Again, I've lost, guys, and this is why this makes sense. I have lost 16 probes this game, and I still have 20 more probes than he does. The only reason why I still have this much of a lead, even though I lost 16, is because he's not making workers. There is no reason why I should have like, my natural has not been done for so long that I've just made this many more probes than him. And he's been making them the whole time. He just doesn't build them. That's a bad habit. So again, this is irrelevant until we see it. We should know, at this point now, we should know, okay, as a natural, he could totally have a fully saturated base if he was making probes. We should respect that until we see it. But knowing that he doesn't have a third, and if we were to just back up, we know we have a lead because we're already taking our third. And again, look at the production. Look at the... Okay, he did just warp in 4 stalkers. Good. But, you know, we decided his army's not super... His army's not really threatening yet. It's not as scary as it could be. And we're going to macro while we do this. We're not microing while we do this. Fuck it. See what happens. Because behind it, we're still making units. We were still switching our tech into charge lots, immortals. We're adding on... forge for upgrades. We're adding on more pylons for more gates. We're building more probes still for our third base. So we were still ramping this game up to the next level. This is not like the end of the game for us. But understanding all of those things, again, the big one is just economy levels of you and your opponent. That's the big one. That's the one that's like either you're good or you're not good. You know what I'm saying, baby? Sorry. We're against the Zerg named Handsome. The name of... Wait, what? Hold on. Let me read that again in a second. The name of the early game is to check expansion time and what's being chronoed, army or probes. The name of the early game is to check whose economy is looking more established than the others. That's early game. And it applies to every race, not just Protoss. Every race has their own mechanics. Okay. So we're gonna make a nice gateway. Chrono boost our thing now. Make a gas. Look at my probe that's across the map over here. No natural. I'm already getting 12 pulled. You can tell this should be a natural down. This is an early pull. There's no reason for there not to be a natural yet. And there's a 12 pull. The fact that that pull's done now means that's a 12 pull. So that's fine. Don't panic. It's not that big of a deal. It just changes our priority. We now know we have a lead. We now know we have a lead in economy. It's a guarantee. But now all we have to do... Yeah, this spot, I agree. This spot's fucked up. I put it in the wrong spot. It's okay, though. Guys, if you make a wall like this, it looks like a big turd. It's okay. Because guess what we're going to do? We're getting all in, so we're going to dedicate Chrono Boost now to defense rather than greed. Let's make another pylon here, too. So we're just making like this pseudo fix. We're still making zealots and we're still making probes, but we chrono boosted a zealot out. We chrono boosted a zealot. And now we're fine. I'm not gonna micro this. I'm gonna keep this really basic. You should micro this in higher leagues, but we're not microing this. We're just gonna wait till we have 2 zealots. As soon as zealot number 2 pops, we're still making units. We're gonna make stalkers now. Zealot 2 pops, we attack now. Go fucking ham, zealots. Go crazy.
Still not convinced, but it's okay. TA checks.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that dollar. And we're still making units, guys. Still making units. Okay, he's done. Let's just go back to my base now, and now let's expand. Because now we can also afford it. Now let's go back to chrono basing our probes, because we just defended a really fat all-in. Or, it's not really an all-in, it's more of a timing. It would have been an all-in if there was gas and he got speedlings. But he didn't. He could totally, at this point now, have a natural. It's totally possible. But now what are we doing with our priorities? We're prioritizing chrono boosts on probes again because we're fine, we're safe. And we're prioritizing probe production over stalker production, even though sometimes my gateways might be idle. I had to make these initially to deal with the all-in, but now if there's a little bit of hiccups and inefficiency in these production cycles, it's okay. Because we're still, every time we can afford it, we're still going to be producing faster than he can. Because we've had a probe lead all game now, and it's not ever going to go away. Our probe lead this game is permanent, because he was on 12 drones when I was probably on 20 probes. Because he chose Zerglings instead. And look, he's going for a nice timing again. Let's go ahead and make a hallucinated Phoenix. Scout and see what's going on at his base. Is Nidus a concern? Yes, which is why I'm building my pylons around the map, around my base. It is a possibility. The amount of lings, though, tells me he's not making drones. That's a fuckload of lings. Since he's making a lot of lings, let's make a battery. Just one battery. That's not that saturated. He's going for a layer. And here comes the Nidus concern that you just said. You shouldn't be thinking a Nidus, but again, you gotta understand timers of things too. You shouldn't be thinking, oh, well, he just 12 pulled me. He's not mining gas to 12 pull. And then he's going to Nidus me 30 seconds later in my main. Now, you need a layer. You need to get 100 gas. You need to tech to a layer. You need to build a Nidus. You need to have 150 gas to build a Nidus. You got to build the exit of the Nidus. Like, Nidus is not free. So, you know, you got to also appreciate the timers of things. We can start a third base. Also, by the way, here's a tip. If you have a zealot on hold position in your wall, or any unit on hold position, if you mineral walk them, like this, they go through the unit. Whereas if you tell them to just walk by it, it gets stuck. So you gotta mine minerals when you go through it without moving your guy out of the door. That's something I haven't told you guys yet, that is a tip, if you may or may not know that. Let's go ahead and get a forge, and let's get a Twilight Council. And let's also get another hallucinated Phoenix to go scout him again. And I'm gonna let you guys know right now, if we get all-in right now, we're fine. Because I'm producing efficiently. The same rule applies that we talked about last time. Efficiency. Look at his third base. Look at my third base. They're like tied. There's a spire. Okay, now we know what build he's going for. So, Let's go ahead and do this. Watch. This is how we can deal with this Spire build now. We're not really going to be doing much micro here. But now that we know it's a Spire, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and get Blink. Let's also go ahead and get a shield upgrade. And we're going to get a second Forge to get a weapon upgrade.
Ah, gotta target the minerals. Thanks.
That's right. Yo, McTeague, thank you, man. Let's go ahead and get more Stalkers whenever we can. And let's put one Observer. So we know it's Mitas. What are we afraid of? We're afraid of him counterattacking my base. Put one Observer there. Put one Observer over here. Let's make a third Observer. Let's also start chrono boosting out shields and weapons. And let's put one pylon behind our mineral lines. So this Observer is going to go over here and go over the surveillance mode. Observer over here in surveillance mode. And one more Observer is going to go in the front of my base in surveillance mode. Okay, he's attacking me. Just select my whole army and go deal with that shit. And let's keep chrono boosting out our upgrades. And final Observer is going to go out in front of my base on surveillance mode. And now we're going to go cannon, cannon, battery. We're still making probes. Probes are the priority. Cannon. Cannon. Battery. Make my gases saturated. Cannon. Cannon. Battery. Chrono, chrono. Now let's make another hallucinated scout. Mutas aren't hitting me right now, and they totally should be. So, what's he doing? Why are you not attacking me with your mutas? We can get our production going up a little bit higher. And let's start getting a charge upgrade. Because what if he's going Broodlords or something now, and we want to... What if he's going Hive Broodlord? Layer, Hydrogen, Bane Nest. No, he's going mutas. So we can blink at the mutas once in a while. Just go fly, like run at the mutas and blink at them. Run at the mutas and blink at them. Chrono boost my upgrades. And now let's go ahead and take another base. And again, remember this rule. When you want to take another base, don't be afraid to kill a gateway. It's fine. Take another hallucinated Phoenix. Let's go scout base count. Does he have any other bases beyond 3? We're still playing efficiently. We're playing an efficient style, more or less. And now we're going to start making Archons. Chrono boost upgrades. Send some oversaturated probes to my new base. Cannon, cannon. Let's double up. Because this is an exposed base, so we're going to make like 4 cannons and 2 batteries at this one instead of 2 cannons and a battery. Okay, there we go. There you go. What's my probe count at? 74. We're looking really good. Here comes the mutas. Blink at them. Cool. Just blink at them. That's why I make the Stalkers, guys. They're amazing in this situation. And now, I would say mutas seem like it's kind of coming to an end. Like, that wasn't a lot of mutas. I have plenty of Stalkers. I have a fuckload of Stalkers compared to his mutas. So how about now? We start going Charge Lot, Archon, and Mortal. Because Charge Lot, Archon, and Mortal is a solid composition. It's pretty effective. And yeah, I'm not really worried. Even if he goes mutas at this point, I'm not really worried because I have so many fucking Stalkers. Chrono boost upgrades. And Charge Lot, Archon, and Mortal. Let's go. And now I don't look at the mutas. I don't care because I have shield battery and I have cannons. I really don't care about those. Let's also make 1 Stargate right now, in case for whatever reason we got to start going into. Yeah, we can just warp in some Stalkers in his face if he's gonna hit my base like that. Just be like, excuse me, I don't appreciate what you're doing. Okay, group my army up. Oh shit, he's like right here. Okay. I didn't see where he was. I was distracted by the mutas. It's happening.
Let our enemy know our fury.
Okay, same thing over there. We're gonna be building cannons and batteries there as well. Armies just kind of traded each other out. That's fine. But I feel like I'm ahead because we have a good economy, guys. We're being efficient. So let's grab my army again. And wait for my army to regroup, the new units we just made, and let's go attack his newest base we just discovered with the hallucinated phoenix. Meanwhile, we're not stopping macro. We just made a couple more cannon battery on the new base that's exposed, and now we're going to attack him. Now while we attack, we can go back to our base and look at our resources, be like, let's make some Archons. Attack in. We can make Archons, whatever. Attack in, and there you go. Probe count is solid. Saturation-wise is solid. Chrono boost upgrades, not solid here. Grab some probes. Saturate the gases before they're done. That's fine. 3-3. Good. Good. It's about to be good, and good. Things are good. Okay, army looks like it's going to die probably. That's okay. What is he making? He's showing me what he's making, and it's Hydras. So we can just stick to Archon, charge a lot of mortal. That's fine. No reason to switch our composition now. We still have the ability to switch, but we don't have to switch. Start getting armor upgrades on my... Oh, he's attacking my base over here. Let's go to it. Make more zealots. We can throw down some more gates. We could even throw down a fleet beacon right now because we might want to go into Tempest in a little bit. And let's just throw down like an extra like 2 Stargates as well while we're at it. Because once again, we might want to go into Tempest if this game continues the way it is. We could throw down another Robo somewhere so we can have two, like if we want to go more Immortal production, what if he goes Lurkers? We could go into more Immortal production as well. Let's make one more Templar to make this guy have a buddy. And let's send out a Zealot on both sides of the map. Go scout every new base. It's been a while since I scouted, so let's find out where his bases are. Okay, he's in the middle of the map ready to attack me is what he's doing. Which is fine. We can take the top right base right now really fast. Go pylons. Call it a day. And let's go ahead and set up our army to attack him. And go away, move that shit. Okay. Making Archons, Zealots, all our stuff. We got Stargates in the main, ready to go. We're getting now armor upgrades, and we're getting air weapon upgrades. Our army did great. Good job. Our army's kind of getting spread apart. Select our army, group it up again. We just crushed that army, though. It was wonderful. And again, the reason why that happened is because of macro. The only reason. Same thing here. Let's get some cannons. We might even get some extra cannons on. This way we'll have another base to transfer probes to. So, base is mining out. No. Yes. Send these probes over to the new base. This base, yep. Send some probes over to the new base. Cool. The other bases are looking good. Now let's go attack him again. There's a base on the right side, so let's go there first. It's exposed as hell. We can shift a move into his natural and into his main. Grab my observers and follow an Archon, or follow an Immortal. Okay, and just kind of just let it happen. Get armor upgrade, get a weapon upgrade. Let's go ahead and increase our gateway count even more. Because we have a lot of money now, we can't spend it, we're maxed. And our upgrades are also basically done. So we want to have a quick remax potential. And that's good. That's a lot more gates. We just added on like another 8 gates. Send another handful of probes to a new base. We could even maybe add on like a couple more gates here. And now how many gateways do we have? We have a lot of gates. This is plenty at this point. We have excessive. This is 29 gateways. It's 24 in one whole group, and then we add in 5 more, so 29. That's fine. It's 29 gates. But it doesn't matter, guys, because guess what? We don't want to make, like, if you're in the 24 plus, stop making gates. We have 29, so we're going to stop. But we have the ability to literally remake like 29 zealots at once. If we were to lose our army. Which is a lot of zealots. Or we can make archons, or whatever the hell we wanted. Attack his base over here. How do you control group them while building them? If I have, let's say I grab my army and I hit control 1. I make a zealot, I click it, and I go shift 1. It gets added into this group now. So if I hit 1, it'll grab that zealot. 34 is my all my production. I have Robo, Stargate, and Gateway on that. Okay, and then you're like, oh, he's going Broodlord. So let's just say we couldn't kill it for whatever reason. GG! If I couldn't kill it for some reason, we could just tab to our Stargates. Tempest, Tempest, Tempest. We could Chrono, Chrono, Chrono. And then we could Chrono our upgrades again. Air weapons on Cybercore. And armor on ground for Zealots and stuff like that. And then good to go. Good to go. And then yeah, all we would be doing now is just looking for new bases. Going over here, all that stuff. All that stuff. But again, we can quickly go through this on like ×4 or something. This one I think was a bit more straightforward. Oh yeah, this is a 12 pull. So yeah. Ideally, when we get higher level, when we start microing, what you want to do is you want to attack a Zergling with your Zealot. You want to A-move forward, and then you want to let your Zealot poke once, and then run away. It comes down to a situation where, if you can, you want to smack a Zergling over and over, and you don't want to let your Zealot get surrounded. Because if you do that, you can actually kill Zerglings while he's trying to kill your buildings. It only takes 3 hits for a Zealot to kill a Zergling if you do it in a timely manner, because otherwise it'll regenerate too much and it'll take 4 hits. But yeah, Zealot can kill a Zergling pretty damn fast. The only thing you don't want to do is just A-move it, because if I just A-moved it and then he just surrounds my Zealot suddenly dies, and then then I can't defend my pylon anymore, and then he kills my pylon, which underpowers my gate, and now suddenly I'm in a problem where I have to pull my probes against Zerglings, which is terrible, and that's going to put me in a very losable position. And if he keeps making Zerglings, I just lose the game. So yeah, you got to be really careful about that. So we literally the way we dealt with it in Platinum League. Sorry. The way we dealt with it in Platinum League is we just held position our Zealot in front of the wall. He poked it like once, and then he backed off and started smacking our buildings. We had our second Zealot get made, and we made it right after the first Zealot, so it was out quick. And the second Zealot popped out, then we just A-moved everything. We just said fuck it. We'll just let it happen. And they're just doing their thing. The most scary thing that could happen right now is if he would have ran into my main base and went into my mineral line. But even then, these Zealots will chase him all the way to my mineral line, and I'm still making units, so I would have Stalkers, and these Stalkers would clean up that problem relatively quickly. But yeah, we reacted to the 12 pool, and then all was good again. And then once we got, everything kind of fixed and situated, we held position a Zealot in the door, again, of our base. And now everything's hunky-dory. Everything's great. And we're just making units whenever... We're making a sentry really quickly because it's cheap anyways on the minerals. But the big one is we're chrono boosting out probes, and we're non-stop making probes. We will never stop making probes. So we don't fall behind. That's the big one. Why didn't he run into the main? Because a lot of people don't really think about things until afterwards. If this was GM or something, he would have ran into the main. again, I'll just say this, okay? Not trying to make anyone feel bad. Not trying to say mean things. The level of efficiency in Platinum League is non-existent. People do not play efficiently in low leagues. They don't. The reason why he didn't run into the main is because he was not doing efficient Ling harass. And efficiency comes into micro, and it also goes into macro. So my whole idea of the series is when we're in low leagues, everything else is irrelevant except for efficiency. And also, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you don't macro efficiently already, and then you're also now trying to incorporate micro multitasking at the same time, everything is going to be really inefficient. So we see his natural. He's got a decent drone count at it. I would say he probably had like 10 on that, if I had to guess. We'll just see how good I am. I'm going to hit vision is 13. Ballparking it, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. I would, when I saw that, or just now, I'd be like, oh, it's about 10. He's got a decent to good saturation on that mineral line. What do we have on ours? Pretty good. You know what that tells us? It tells us we're in a great spot as Protoss. You don't ever want to be tied with Protoss on workers like this for very long. You really don't. Also, another thing that tells us is that if he has this many drones as a follow-up, there is, you know, very likely no gas early on. That means he expanded quickly. This amount of lings was a bit scary because I was like, are they about to have speed? When I flew over the lings first, I hadn't seen if he had expanded yet. And I flew over the lings with my Oracle or my Phoenix first, right here. When I'm seeing these, I'm like, okay, more lings are coming. What?
Every time you say efficient, a Zergling gets its wings.
Hell yeah, white fartosis. It's true. Efficiency! Yeah, boys! This is a lot of lings. You gotta feel like this, okay? First things first. This could be an all-in, so we build a battery. That is one way to react to it. We build it in just a second. The second way to react to this is if this is not an all-in. That feels really good because that could have been a lot of drones, guys. This could have been a lot of drones. This is well after his first 12 pool of lings. He lost quite a bit of those lings. He lost 7 of his... I'm going to throw this out there. When you 12 pool a Protoss, usually you're going to make about 12 Zerglings. Maybe 14. And that's it. This definitely means... This right here, guys. This is 20 Zerglings. He's been making lings for a while. This is a lot of drones that could have been here. This could have been like... If you incorporate... If we just say 12 lings, okay? This right here, 20 lings, could have instead been the remainder of the 12 initially, and it could have been like 16 drones. Or, just kidding, like 6 drones is what I meant to say. Or maybe 7 drones. Not 16. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Like 6 or 7 drones is what this could have been instead. And imagine if he had 6 or 7 drones on top of this. He could already have his gases started and be fully saturated still. And that would have been more intimidating. I would have been like, yeah, I'm a bit more behind. That was not intimidating, what I just saw, though. And we made the battery, too, because of the, you know, the potential. Yo, Mr. Virtual. Maker's Virtual. Makers. Thank you very much for the 15 raid, man. And welcome, guys. We're doing a little bit of B to GM. Hello, hello. Welcome. Look at the worker count, guys. They're still tied. This is scary for Zerg. Efficiency. You definitely want to be above that. Like when Protoss... If we're talking about a game, okay? If we're talking about a game where the game was in some way, shape, or form a standard game, and I'm going to just say that him going 12 pool and forcing me to expand really late because I had to go double gateway, that turns into a normal game if he expands. It totally can. And if Zerg right now is at 47 drones, ideally the Protoss would be like at 38 or 36. If the Protoss is at 49 probes, ideally the Zerg at that one would be, the Zerg then would be now at like 66, 63. Like you want to have like a nice lead over the Protoss in a standard game, and this became a standard game, and the Zerg is tied with Protoss, which is scary. It just means Zerg is never going to get anything done. And it comes down to efficiency. And it's about things like this. That is not the most efficient thing. And he's not supply blocked. That's a lot of larva. That's a lot of larva, guys. That is not efficient. This is the exact same thing as not building workers on Terran and Protoss. That's a lot of larva. Still. That's my point. Efficiency. You need to fucking be efficient. And not spinning your larva is not efficient. So now, like, look at the drone count now. It's 48 to 56. He's about to take the lead because he just made a massive round of drones. Or it's going to be even. Not even, actually. Yeah. Even after that round of drones that was delayed, he still doesn't have the lead for a second. But every second counts for every worker. Because also, for Zerg, it's really big because he doesn't get... he loses larva when he does that because it doesn't generate anymore after 3 per hatchery. Anyways, we're talking about Protoss. It's you know... we didn't know that that's exactly what was going on for Zerg because we can't see into his base permanently. But efficiency is big, and that was definitely an example of inefficient larva usage right there. So, but we did scout. Okay, we see the Spire. We were going into Blink Stalkers. We knew that. We were going also into Second Forge now. We're going shield upgrades and weapon upgrades. Why do we do this, you ask? Because it makes shield battery, or it makes cannons and shield batteries really, really, really good at defending cannon, or at defending the muta multi-prong, just like fly into your base type shit. The cannons can deal with the mutas really well. And then on top of that, it makes just every building is stronger, but it also makes my army better. I would rather have armor for my army if I really had to pick one, but I will tell you guys for now to get shield upgrades because, again, this is platinum, and I don't think our multitasking is insanely good. So shield battery and cannon is great against muta because we're probably not going to be always multitasking everywhere. Once we get higher level, once we become a higher level player, I will say we should totally get armor and weapons instead. And now what we should also do is we should be watching the minimap for where the mutas go, and we should always have some type of stalker army underneath where he goes, even if that means splitting my stalkers apart to multiple groups. So again, that's not what we're doing in platinum though. We're not microing yet. So shield battery cannon is amazing if we're not microing. What's up, Duke? What's up, man? And then having a little bit of a range of vision because he's going for a harassment-based playstyle. These observers are amazing at just revealing what's going on around our base. Gives us, it's like a creep spread for Protoss, more or less. So then we scout into his base. We see Hydrogen. It's whatever. We killed our gate so we can have an instant access to our 4th. It's not a big deal to kill your gate later on when you're really rich. You can just replace it later. And now we see, oh look, he's got gas at a 4th base, and he's on 4 bases, but he's got a gas. And then we also see, because of our observers, mutas. All you got to do is be like, hey stalkers, go attack this. Now, let me give you guys a tip here. This is a tip. If you're using select all army, which I don't mind you do in platinum, you need to do this, okay? I'm going to teach you guys something right now if you don't know this. There are groups, and then there are subgroups. Subgroups are groups of units inside of a whole group. So, for instance, 28 is the group 1, or it is select all army. Or really, it's observers too. Select army is 33 rather. Sorry. We also have to include observers that are... I bound group 1 a while ago, and we're not even using group 1 here. We're using select all army. So, select all army is 33 units. We have observers, archons, zealots, immortals, stalkers, and sentries. Now, if you select everything, it will always prioritize the unit with the most diversity inside of it. For instance, a sentry has more diversity. It is considered a spellcaster over a stalker. A stalker just has blink. An archon has nothing. A immortal has nothing that you can use. It's a passive. A zealot has nothing you can use. Really, it's also really considered a passive. And even though you can really, but no one ever fucking does that. And also you can see that it's after immortals. The game doesn't even consider it to be a unit with an ability, really. It's really considered a passive. And then observers don't have they have like this observer thing mode, but they don't take priority over units though, other actual units. So what happens is every time you hit select army, you cannot blink your stalkers is my point, because it'll be like, oh, I got sentries controlled now though. I can make force fields, I can make hallucinations and guardian shields, but I can't blink. So what you have to do is if you select all army like that, you have to hit tab once, because tab cycles through subgroups like that. So you hit tab once and then blink if you're doing select army. So select army, tab, blink, click. That's it. That's how you would have to micro this. That's how this would be controlled. Now, if you actually used control groups, you could literally take the sentry out of the group and then now hit control 1, and then you'd never have to hit tab again because sentry's not in that group. And you could put sentry in like group 2 or something like that. That'd be also fine. But that is how that works. So what we did right here is we hit select all army, we hit tab, and we blinked under the mutas. I'll slow it down.
Engaging the enemy.
We selected our army, we hit tab, and we blinked. And then our stalkers got right under the muta. We didn't micro this. We did not micro this any more than just blinking once. We could have chased these longer, and we could have walked with him and attacked him and walked and stutter stepped under him and blinked multiple times. But just for the sake of platinum and basicness, if we saw an opportunity like that and we got stalkers because we knew we got blink stalkers because we knew he was going muta, blink under him once, and that still is very effective. Very, very, very effective. We just wiped out like probably 7 mutas right there for no losses. And his mutas right now have 1 weapon upgrade and we have 1 shield upgrade, so our stalkers didn't even take any actual damage. Like the shield upgrade is nice. Now moving forward, we are now doing this cannon battery thing at our new bases that around the nexus entirely. When it's not just like the 2 cannons and a battery. We don't have gateways covering these nexuses anymore. There's really no effective places to plant my gates anymore. So we're doing cannon battery. Okay, go back to this. So we also, at this point in time, here's the thing to think about. We knew we had a pretty decent to good position against Zerg. Hold on.
This is the best SC2 instructional series I've seen. Thanks, man. Keep it up.
Yo, McTeague, thank you very much for the 32. I appreciate you, dude. That's a fat donation right there, and thank you so much, man. I'm glad you're liking it, and dude, yeah, for real. That's a big donation. Thank you very much for wanting to support the stream. You're a boss. So with everything combined up to this point, we should know, okay, yeah, the Zerg failed a 12 pull. He then also failed muta aggression, and we also killed a lot of mutas. This is a nice time to launch a timing because we also have been very efficient in the whole process as well. And when you think about something even further, when we scouted his 4th base, we saw a 4th base with just gas. Now, obviously, he's ramped it up a little bit, but we saw just gas. We had a 4th base, and we have optimal saturation, like a very nice saturation of probes. So we have a great economy. We know we have a great economy. So with having a great economy as Protoss, we should not feel like we're behind Zerg. Zerg has not shown me something that makes me think, oh god, his economy is really good. The only way a Zerg's economy is good, by the way, is if I'm a Protoss and I'm looking at Zerg, the only way I ever think his economy is good is if he has a fully saturated base that is 1 base above what I have. So if I were to scout, wow, he has a fully saturated 3rd, and I'm on 2 bases taking my 3rd, that is a good Zerg economy. If he does not have that, every little bit less, or every bit that is either equal to me or that I am ahead of that, I have a great economy to him. The golden rule of Zerg is Zerg needs to have 1 more economy than you do throughout the development stages of the game. That is the golden rule. It doesn't apply anymore when you're both around max workers, if you both have like 80, because at that point Zerg can use high-tech units like Broodlords, like Lurkers, Infestors, which make up the difference of needing to have more economy. But early game, Zerg can ramp up quicker than other races can, and Roaches and Lings are not as effective as other races are. They're less valuable, so the only way they get shit done is when you have more of them than your opponent. Like equal supply Roaches to like equal supply Bio, Medevac, Marine, or something like that is Zerg gets shit on. Zerg does not do well in equal trades when they have weak units. Zerg is definitely needing higher supply to make crappy units more effective. But then crappy units also get better with higher tier upgrades, which is higher tech. like adrenal glands and stuff like that. Anyways, moving on. That overall, having a good economy and the Zerg throwing units away is why we decided to do our timing. It's a great time to attack. We just killed a bunch of mutas, and he's also not even committing to our army anymore with mutas. He's leaving them to attack our buildings, which is not scary at all. We warp in like 3 stalkers here, and this is dealt with. So we move out. This move out was a bit. I would say this move out was a bit impatient, because we get kind of blindsided by the Zerg here. Like, we're not really ready for this. And this is not going to be the most... Like, we got Zealots in the back. We got our Archons getting more from the front that we're going to die. Not the most effective trade for Protoss here. We could have definitely set that up a little bit more nicely, position-wise. But, again, it's not what we're worried about. If I were to say, if there was any mistake made just now, instead of saying that mistake was like, oh, we should have microed that, blink the stalkers around. No, that is not the mistake. The mistake would have been, we should have scouted with like a hallucinated phoenix or something like that, or like a zealot, and tried to figure out where his army was while simultaneously figuring out what base we want to attack, and then attack. And if we would have seen, oh, Zerg is right here. Zerg is actually like over here. We could have actually set our army up in a better organized way to fight that in a more effective manner. That would have been a platinum level correction, I would say. Because again, that's also important. You always do need to do that in future games. Masters players and GM players should never walk in the middle of fog of war being like, I have no fucking idea. And then I'd be like, oh, it's a bad connection. It's a bad engagement. Fix it quick. Like, that's just stupid. You still have to do both steps properly. And learning how to not take bad fights by setting up the fight is an important thing to know. Positioning is important. That's basically my point. But we did all right. And we go for the next base. We're still macroing during the whole process. We're still producing units constantly. And we end up losing this whole army because we're pushing our army to like the limit. We like keep our army like going. Also, stalkers are not the best against hydras. I'm just going to throw that out there as well. Stalkers are great against mutas, not the best against hydras and lings. So our composition is also kind of getting weak. But in these fights, we also see what his composition is because it's what he's fighting us with. So what do? We remax. Where's my army being built at? Over here. We're starting to remax into Zealot Archon, not Stalkers again. Stalkers are kind of over, unless he goes back into like some airy army again, and then we could make Stalkers again if we needed to. But Zealot Archon is really good against Hydroling, and we're also making Immortals, so we're going Zealot Archon Immortal now. So our composition is now becoming way better. Should you not have attacked again there? No, here's the thing. It's okay that we attack there, and this is why. Look at his economy. Mined out. It's okay. The gas hasn't even been touched yet. But the mineral lines are looking kind of sad. Some of these mineral line patches are about to mine out. Third base, looking great. Fourth base, it was looking great. Our army died here, but we also killed a lot of his army at the same time, and we also killed a lot of economy. So if we look at the economy tab, we expanded our lead. There is no way we're going to die right now because we're macroing during the fight. So if me and if my opponent and myself, we slam our armies into each other, he wins it a little bit more than I do. So he has a little bit of retained army left. If we make our army during the fight, not just after the fight, suddenly, if he were to counterattack me right now, do you think this Zergling Hydralisk army would beat this Archon Zealot army? It definitely wouldn't. So we'd be fine. If you say I would just go home, that's also okay. I'm not saying that's wrong. That's totally fine. That is fine as well. Again, the big one is we're not worried about microing our army. We're worried about macroing our army. So if we lose an army, it's not the end of the world. That's the goal I'm trying to like make you guys realize. The goal, the real goal of the game is, how many workers do I have? 82? Great. Somewhere between 80 to 85 is wonderful. What's my main look like? It's wonderful. No oversaturation. How about my natural? Good. No oversaturation. How about my third base? 2 probes oversaturated. Need to fix that. But it's just 2 so far. How about my next base? Nothing's oversaturated. Great. Next base. Nothing's oversaturated. Great. And next, never mind. Yeah, that's the last. I just looked at that one. So we have out of 82 probes, we only have 2 probes that are being a little bit inefficiently mining. That's it. That's very little, and that means that we can remax over and over and over. We can just keep making new armies again and again and again. So again, the biggest thing, the biggest like problem here would be, oh, I attacked and my army died. No, that's not the biggest problem. That's like a minor problem. The bigger problem would be, oh, we attacked and I was not macroing for the last whole fight of 2 minutes. And now I have 5,000 resources. I also haven't been fixing my probes, and I have 16 out of 8. I have 16 out of 8. I have 16 out of 16. 0 probes here and 0 probes here. Those are bigger problems. That is not maintaining your economy. Because look at the army supply now. We're still maintaining a nice hefty lead even though we lost our whole army. Because what ended up really happening was we lost our army, but at the same time we killed an economy. As you can see right here. Watch this. This is not a terrible fight. And again, but if you don't take this fight, it's not a big deal because if we kept this army alive, went home, maxed out, then came back, that would also be fine. But look at the drones we kill here. It's a lot of drones, guys. We've only killed 2 drones so far. He has 66 versus 82. It's still not good for Zerg. And now he's lost 12, or even more. He's lost 13 drones. Now he's lost 13, so he lost this whole base mining is now no longer here. And now his mining has gone down even more. It's just more it's just inefficient to a more extreme degree. And do you see what happens? Look at the supply. Even though I just lost that army, look at the supply. He decides to launch a counterattack. He goes, you know what? I'm going to attack the Protoss. We have shield batteries and cannons to not only initially help us with this a lot, we also have shield upgrades too. But even if I didn't even have these defenses, look at my army. My army's obviously not in the right spot right now, but I could totally kill his army if he attacked me with it. I am not afraid of that amount of Hydras and this many Lings with this Archon charge lot army. And he decides, no, I'm just going to back up, which is, I agree with that decision. So macro is God. Macro is key. Macro is #1 priority still, always. All these other choices are minor. And now this time we get close to maxing out, and we go for another timing. Or he goes for a timing is what it was, I remember. So he attacks us. We're trying to scout for bases to see how greedy he's being. We see nothing on the left side because we see his army really, because our zealot engages that instead. And then on the right side we see his expansion over here. And the zealot just starts smacking drones, which is fine. We end up pulling it off because we're doing select army repeatedly in Platinum League, which is fine. We're not worried about microing a zealot to kill drones right now. That is again something that's more advanced. It's not our biggest priority right now. This is a minor thing that could help a lot in later stages, when we're like a higher level player. But for now, it's not. This is not going to like make or break the game. This is more important right now. Do we have enough? That's the most important part. Yes, we do because we macroed. And then secondly, do we have a decent position here? Yeah, it's okay. And we're not microing anything. These units are A-moving themselves all over the place because we're staying maxed out. What happened? What was the supply before that fight started? It was 144 versus a max Protoss. Now what happens during the fight? Zerg supply goes down. Protoss supply maintains max. That's where it is, boys. Just understanding efficiency is again the goal. When you get higher level, when you become like a masters player and shit, you can handle microing fights like this while macroing at the same time. You can. But Platinum players just don't do it. Platinum players just let their money ramp up during fights because they only focus on the fight. And now this game is, you know, it's over at this point, so... Yeah. And again, we have this army on the whole A-move thing we've been talking about every league before. We just shift A-move throughout his base. We have observers following an immortal. And all we're doing in the meantime is we're building more gates. Building more gates. Because what if we lose this entire army somehow? Let's just say, hypothetically, he has 12 Broodlords. Which is kind of what he's starting to try to go for. Broodlords. Let's say he has like 12 or like 14 Broodlords and my army just dies. And I'm like, oh shit, well... Or let's say like half my army dies. And I go, okay, let's back up. We're not breaking these Broodlords. I could instantly remax every time because I just have enough production to do that. And I diversified my tech by adding on another robo, added on more stargates and a fleet beacon. So now I can make any unit in the game that I want. I can make carriers if I wanted to. I can make Tempest if I wanted to. I could keep making immortals. I guess I can't make the robo units tier 3, but you get my point. Like I have a very diverse palette here with what I can do. I can be like, what sounds good? Blink Stalkers. I could do that. Oh, I go Mass Charge Lots. I go Archons. I could Tempest. There's very little the Zerg can do to me here. There's a lot of Overlords dying right there. Look kind of sexy. And there you have it, boys. There you have it. MAGA. If you make too many Archons, don't the clump of Archons start blocking each other? They're kind of derpy with their movement. Kinda. Yeah, it can happen. Archons are pretty good, though. Against Zerg. Archons are pretty good in general, but they're also really good against Zerg. Especially good against Zerg. When am I going to teach you guys Archon Toilet? Archon Toilet isn't a thing anymore. It's a thing of the past. I'll teach you that in 2012. Oh, wait. It's not 2012 anymore. At what league did we start microing ViBE? Very basic levels of micro are already happening in Platinum. Very basic micro. Like preemptive micro for the fight. Like sieging a tank or blinking a stalker. But actual like decent micro starts happening in Diamond League. This guy's a fucking baller. Never trust early chat? Well, we scout anyways. So same thing as always right now. The game is super standard at this point in time. Does he expand? Yes. Does he have a gas? No. He does not. Rally my mineral line, or not my mineral line, sorry. Rally my nexus to my gas. And he's expanding, so let's go ahead and grab a probe and take our expansion too. We'll send the probe out of his base. We'll come back in again in a minute. We'll focus on this now. So let's make a core. Don't stop making probes. Probes are still the priority. So we'll make another probe really quick, and then we'll make the core. And now we can make a pylon. And then we'll make another gas. Now let's go check his base again. Does he have gas? Is what we want to know. Probably does. Oh, look, he's going for a third. Let's confirm this. Yes, there's a third base. So this is a greedy Zerg. Gas. No. Gas. Yes, he's mined 100. Now let's watch him for a second. Are you going to keep mining gas? The answer is yes. So, yeah, that's... The more they want to mine gas, the more likely there's a chance that an all-in can happen. Some type of... Like, look, oh, as well, he's not getting Zergling speed. Let's go ahead and mine our minerals with our probe. Just get out of there. It's fine. We don't need to say anymore. We've seen everything we wanted to see. Get out of there! Gonna miss my probes. Go ahead and make a robo. Okay, hold position my stalker in the door. I'm not really too worried about this Zerg in terms of all-inning me, really. Like that much, because he went for a third. He might. We're going to figure that out. I think the thing that I'm more worried about is him just having a third base really fast, and you know I need to figure out what's going on quickly. But one way we can also force a reaction out of the Zerg is by taking our own third. Oh, I'm not mining one of my... I was like, why does my gas feel so low this game? I was curious. It made no sense. I was like, oh shit, I'm not mining my gas on my main. Yeah, we can send one stalker to go kill that overlord. It's fine. Okay, and now we can also start setting up a third base. Because look at our money, we can afford it. We're not stopping probe production. We can attempt it. And now let's send a hallucinated phoenix to go scout if we're getting all in or not. And if we are, so look at the minimap, right? We always say this, look at the minimap when your phoenix is going out there to see if you see a blob of enemy shit running by you. No blob of enemy stuff. So drone counts. Third base. Already has like 6 drones on it. Natural. Fully saturated. Or the gas is what I mean to say. But it looks like it's almost fully saturated. Evo chamber. Hydrogen. Okay, and mostly saturated main base too. Looks like this dude's going full macro is what it looks like. If we compare it to our build, he has more drones than we have probes. That is how that should work for Zerg. So yeah. We have a Zerg player who is definitely macroing right now. You should not look at that and be like, we're way ahead, or we're way behind. It's pretty standard looking. Zerg should always have a little more than Protoss. Let's increase some building room here for some extra tech structures. Let's also get some more pylons over here. Gonna boost my probes. And let's send another Phoenix out there. Oh, hello. We can kill this Overlord. Okay, send the Phoenix out now because it's going to expire. Overlord's just going to die. Let's make some gates over here so we have this kind of walled off. Gate, gate, gate. Watch the mineral lines. Third base. Ours looks better than that now. And that's all we care about. It died. It's fine. That's our third. His third was not fully saturated. I counted probably like 12 probes. Probably 12 probes on that third base for him. So I feel pretty good about, you know, who has more. And we're basically done making probes now. It's getting really close to the end here for amount of shit that we have. Okay. We can go and make another robo. Why not? Let's make a robo bay just in case this is like mass hydras and maybe we want to go into Colossus. We can make a couple gateways over here. Make some Archons, and we're just doing the build. Charge that Archon Immortal, because he's going for what looks like Zergling Hydra type stuff. Mineral line saturation wise is perfect now. Our last 3 probes are about to spawn. Okay, he's attacking. So, oh, just kidding. No, he's not. Just chill out. He's got a 4th. He's got Infestors and Hydras. Okay, we just saw our Phoenix and died, obviously, but Infestor Hydra is what we're dealing with. That's okay. I don't mind Infestor Hydra. Chrono boost out my Immortals, because we're done making probes. So we can Chrono boost Immortals and upgrades. Fix my mineral fields. We can get a pylon in each one of our main bases, or each one of our base mineral lines. And here in a minute, we can go into the whole cannon battery thing like we talk about all the time. Okay, and now let's go ahead and do that. So cannon, cannon, battery. Cannon, cannon, battery. Grab 2 probes off this mineral line because it's oversaturated again. Cannon, cannon, battery. And last base to do it with, cannon. Oh, he's attacking. Go, 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 go. Takes priority. Go over there. Cannon. Cannon, battery. Cool. Okay, make some stuff. Make some Archons. Make a pylon because he killed one. And now he just failed the timing, and we've been efficient. Let's go ahead and kill one of our gates so that we can take another base. And let's go set up an attack. Or he's attacking me again over here. Let's go defend it then. And let's send our hallucinated Phoenix out to go scout new bases so that we can just be prepared wherever he goes. Let's make some Zealots. Get my upgrades going still. Make some Immortals. We're still macroing. Okay, we don't see a base here, so let's just go kill this base. He's... Okay, there's a base there, though. Let's just go kill the left base, because he's on the left side of the map anyways. My army's kind of splitting itself apart right now. These rocks fuck everything up. Let's kill these rocks and then go forward. But look, I lost no probes here. These cannons and batteries are amazing. It made that really easy. So easy to deal with, man. Okay, while we set this up, let's make 1 Stargate and Chrono Boost my Forge. That way we can transition into like anti-Broodlord shit if we need to eventually. Have my Observer fall an Immortal and call it a day on that fight for now, because that's a dead base. Fix my economy anywhere we can. Cannons and batteries, guys. This way, if we lose this fight, we can have another base to fall back on before he has time to counter me. What's going on over here now? Hey, move him. Go. Probe count's still good. Need to fix my probes. Probes are good. Probes are good. Probes need to be fixed. Make army. Look at my supply. It's still not bad. Let's just go ahead and you know what we can do now? Chrono with some gates. Chrono gates. Chrono, chrono, chrono. Chrono, chrono, chrono. Chrono, chrono, chrono. Chrono, a lot of gates just now. How's this army doing? It's getting fucked. It's fine. Make a lot of zealots now with the chronoed gates. And now, we still have more money than we can spend, so let's go ahead and do this. Just in case we need it. Go to get ready for Tempest. And let's make a lot more gates. That's like another like 10 gates right there or something. Or 11 gates. Now look, remember what I talked about? Efficiency of your time? Suddenly that wasn't scary. These Zerglings could have been really annoying denying my cannons or denying my probes, but those Lings just got destroyed. Wait, what the hell? Whoa, Zealots, relax. There we go. Now we got 21 gateways. 21 gateways is fine. That's plenty. go ahead and send one zealot out on each side of the map. Attack every open base. And if there's no new open bases other than the one in the middle of the map that we see, that have the Zerg controlling, this will be the base we attack if there's no other bases I find that are even closer, that are controlled by Zerg. Because we're about to max again. Okay, I see no new bases, guys. He's rebuilding this one, but let's go attack this base. Get my army ready. Hit the rocks. There's another base there, too.
We embrace the glory of battle.
What about my probes? Good? Not good.
We embrace the glory of battle.
Not good. Good. Send him here. Done. Take another base. Okay, let's attack. Select our army. Let's go. What are you defending with? Have my observers follow an immortal. He's defending with zealots, or sorry, hydras, lings, roaches, ravagers. Okay, that's it. That's fine. It looks like he's about to die then. If it's this kind of an army, let's just make more zealots, archons, and immortals. We can take these zealots and we can just A move right now with the new zealots we just made. Just like A move into his natural. Call it a day. GG. Bring them over there. Doesn't matter what, even if you recommand them at some other point to do something else, just sending them over there is what you want to be doing. Efficiency, boys. Efficiency. Why are you telling Platts to get Tempest? Solid more again. I am not telling you to make Tempest. I am telling you to have the ability to make Tempest. Because if that Zerg goes Broodlords, that is the most A-movable counter to Broodlords, is having Tempest in your army. Like, make like 6 of them or something.
Hey ViBE, as someone who has no problem maxing on time as us, I am routinely 60 to 90 seconds slow as a Zerg. What would be the most likely thing to look at as a cause for this gap? You the man.
What league are you in, Scattergun? I would say, without knowing what league you are, it's the thing about Protoss and Terran that makes it easy is you can make workers whenever you want, like all the time. You can like queue them up. But with Zerg, you have to be on larva all the time, and that is a very big deal. So if you miss injects or if you don't spend your larva and let it sit there too much, it's gonna cause a lot of problems for you. And I think Zerg is a little bit more difficult to understand sometimes with people trying to understand, should I be making army or should I be making units right now? But yeah, you need to just maximize your larva as much as possible. As much as possible. If you're not maximizing your larva, that is definitely why you are falling behind on timers. I gotta go to sleep. Have a nice day. Yo, have a good night, Nas. Good night, dude. Thank you for watching. Oh, baby. But yo, thank you for the 5 scattergun. Appreciate it, dude. Much appreciated. Okay, so we're gonna scout his base, and we're gonna make probes. Make a gas. This is a Protoss versus Protoss. So we are going to take a double gas soon. I don't want him stealing one of my gases. Don't ever let, in a PvP, do not ever let your opponent steal your gas. It will cost you the game versus a good player every time. Now, if this guy has 2 gates, we're going to make a second gate. If he doesn't, we're going to stay 1 gate and go to a core. Just because we're going to scout as a reaction. He has 2 gates, so let's make a second gate. And a core. And a chrono boost on my Nexus. Notice he's not chrono boosting, guys. We are ahead already in terms of economy. That is a guarantee right now. That is something we're looking at. He could totally chrono boost both of his gateways at the same time, though, when they're done. This is the type of a player that seems like they're going to be aggressive, not macro-oriented. So all we got to do is just not take damage. Like, try our best to do that. But even if we do, we already have a worker lead, so that's looking good for us. Alright. Now, I would, again, since this guy is going to be aggressive, I'll just say this. I would not be surprised if he goes double Adepts. Double Adepts is your standard, I'm going to be aggressive kind of a Protoss player. Okay, we'll leave our Stalker out in the front, just in case he goes Adepts. This is going to be vision for us, so I can have time to build a pylon here. Let's leave the probe here. And now I just built my Nexus. Let's scout his natural too at the same time. Just see if he built a natural. And now we're gonna... we're still making Stalkers, we're still making probes. Did you expand? You did not expand, so aggression is likely. Wait, are you expanding? What are you... okay, now he is. So it's just inefficient now is what it is. Let's make a hallucinated Phoenix. Send it down here. Let's just get... no chrono boosts. 0 chrono boosts have been spent. And there's the fucking Adepts I was talking about. And we kind of messed it up, but he didn't take advantage of that, so thank God. So now let's just go play standard now. This is just a standard game, and we know we're ahead. Because we're playing against a Protoss who's not chronoing at all. And we are chronoing. It's the exact same thing as if you're playing a Zerg versus Zerg, and one player is injecting their bases, and the other one is not injecting at all. Or in Terran versus Terran, if one player is dropping mules constantly, and the other player is not at all. A move my Stalkers. So even though we're going to take some probe losses, we're still ahead in probes. It doesn't matter, really.
Research complete. Your probes are under attack.
Oh, okay. I thought I pulled my probe out of there, but whatever. Again, the big one is we've been making units the entire time. I'm feeling really good about this game right now. I feel like if there's anyone confused as to the position of this game right now, is there anyone in the chat who is not sure why I know I'm ahead at this point? Yo, Hauler TV, thank you very much, man, for the Twitch Prime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because you're better. That has nothing to do with it. That's that's not why. It's because his natural was late. Inefficiency. That's all it is.
You have not enough minerals. I am here in the shadow.
It's because I'm smashing fucking platinum plebs and I'm a GM player and I'm playing at GM level. That's why I'm winning. All we're doing is being efficient, not supply blocking as best we can, spending the money as it comes in. We can go ahead and scout. You know what we're gonna scout this time, guys? I'll tell you what we're gonna scout in a second, but think about it for a second. What should we scout right now to confirm the pace of the game? It's third base and then natural probe line. So no third, we have a third. That's done. That's a great sign. Now let's. Okay, so he went Phoenix. Now let's scout mineral line. That's like 8 probes in that mineral line. We are at 21. So yeah, that's a good sign for us. We definitely have a lot of probes compared to him. Let's go ahead and fix our mineral lines here. Okay. And base is good. And now our money is going to start really ramping up hard here in a second. Here's a nice trick too I haven't told you guys about yet that we can totally do. Make a pylon in front of my natural. Make a pylon in front of my ramp at my 3rd, and make a pylon in front of where I'm going to put my 4th. Pylon scouts are actually pretty nice. They warn you when you're going to get attacked. Chrono boost my probes. Okay, now let's start going into Archon Charge Lot Immortal. Archon Charge Lot Immortal, guys. The A-movable army. Saturate my mineral lines properly. My money is still ramping up. We're at 66 probes. We're not close to being done yet, but we're getting there. Let's go ahead and start another Nexus. And when we scout again, what are we scouting this time? Once again, we should be scouting the 3rd base. How far along is his 3rd base compared to what ours is now fully saturated? And now we're scouting. Now we're saturating our 4th. And now we're also getting, we have so much money that we can't spend it, so we're adding gateways. We can also start doing upgrades with our, okay, he's attacking me. All army go that way. Keep making probes. His 3rd base. Shit, I didn't really pay attention to it. So we missed it. I'll do another one. We can make another scout right now. New Phoenix, go scout the base of Protoss. The 3rd base. Okay, we have a lot of gates now. 3rd base for Protoss is 2 probes, 3 probes. Not good. Once again, even though we've lost probes, our lead is massive right now. It's confirmed. Make a pylon behind the mineral line. Make a pylon behind the mineral line. Make a pylon behind the mineral line. And we have pylons enough. Or one more closer. Chrono boost upgrades. Make Archons. Make Immortals. Okay, now we can kind of stop scouting with Hallucinated Phoenixes for now for a little bit. It's not as important anymore because we're kind of getting ready to now attack him. We're getting close to that attacking stage. Let's fix probe count really quickly. We are at 78 probes. Let's take another base. And let's make more Archons. Okay, let's send out 2 Zealots. 1 on each side of the map. Attack every base that is open. 1 on the other side. Attack, 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 attack. Okay, let's add in like just a cannon battery to every base. In case these Phoenix keep flying around my mineral lines at this point. Okay, where's his expansions at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Templar for Archons. He's on 3 bases still, it looks like. Or he just took a 4th, it looks like, actually. I think he just built that, because the probe came back from it. So let's go attack it. We're maxed out, guys. We're so close to maxing. We are maxed. Attack this base. I'm pretty sure there's a base there. And finish off my cannon battery. I didn't build one here either. Cannon battery. And cannon battery gas. Okay, so there's the base. Let's go. And move his army. Don't need to worry about it. Macro while it's happening. Chrono boost upgrades as well when we can. My charge. And again, the reason why that attack was really good is because we knew by continuously checking up on his economy, we were way ahead. We knew we had a massive lead in economy. Because he never really, he did an inefficient build. And he also didn't respect making probes as much as you should. Which is a habit you gotta develop. Did you care about the Phoenix Harass at all, or no? I didn't care about it at all, because every time I looked at my worker line to his worker line, even though he was picking up my probes with Phoenix, it was, I still had probably like 20 more workers than him on average, if just by guessing. I know I had more than that, because he didn't really have a lot of probes at all game. But I know that my worker count, every time I checked up on him when he was killing probes, he kills 6 probes of mine, yet I'm still 20 workers ahead of him. Plus, seeing how lacking his mineral lines were, he's dedicating multitasking to picking up probes to kill them, and he's not making probes of his own. So it's something like this. This is where it doesn't make any sense. If I invest my APM and my attention to killing 10 probes, and in that same amount of time that I killed 10 probes, I could have built 20 probes of my own, but instead I built 0. That is not a good trade, because if I build 20 and he kills 10 and builds 0, at the end of the day, the trade is that I'm plus 10 over him. And that's kind of what was happening every time he went for Phoenix Harass, is he just wasn't building workers, and he was killing a few of mine here and there. But yeah, I really didn't care. I think at the end of this game, it'll probably be like I've lost like 20 workers in total, but I maintain a massive worker lead the whole time. And again, no chrono boost was a big tell too. That we knew we were ahead by in the very beginning. So we go back, we scout him again, and we see, okay, he just started a natural. Guys, my natural's like 60% of the way done. It's almost done. That's a big lead too. We see another gate in his base. He goes for the adept thing this time. So the first adept attack happens, right? He kills 3 probes. In the process of killing 3 probes, we still end up plus 1 probe over him because we're making probes. And also now, not only is it that he went for probes and, you know, killed 3 of them, we're still ahead in probes, but we're also ahead in resources lost because 3 probes is worth less than 2 adepts. Which reinforces how safe we feel because he just threw away a production cycle of gateways. Our probes die, it's whatever. And now this really, again, the fact that he lost 2 adepts and the fact that he took a natural makes us feel really safe to take a 3rd. So that, you know, that's why that makes a lot of sense to do that. Not only is it efficient with our money, but the reason why with efficiency, instead of saying, oh, we have too much money, we can't spend it, let's add on more gateways. Instead, what we say is, let's add on another nexus. The reason why that makes sense is because he lost gateway units, so he reset himself, an army, and again, he expanded. So he's investing into economy as well. Efficiency. Logic is what we're going for there. Like, just understanding what you can get away with, basically. We go scout his 3rd, and with a hallucination, and there's not even a 3rd even remotely started, and our 3rd is done. Our 3rd is fresh, it's good to go, it hasn't been saturated yet, but we have oversaturation on the natural, which we can send over, and now we're making probes 3 bases at a time. We go into his natural, we see his army is Stalker Sentry just like ours, that's fine, and we also now see it's Phoenix, but we go into his natural, and look at ours, 19 probes and fully saturated gas. We're oversaturated for the 3rd. Look at his natural. Do I care that he kills probes right now? Do I care if he kills like 5 probes with 3 Phoenix? Definitely not. Because I already know from his natural to my natural, because we both should have a fully saturated main. That is how it works. But I know that at my natural to his natural, I already know that I'm ahead by probably like 10 drones, or 10 probes rather. Roughly, like 10, 11, 12, around that number. Doesn't have to be exact, ballpark that shit. But if he kills like 3, 4, 5 probes in my main, and I know I'm already ahead by a whole 3rd base, so I produce faster, plus I also know I'm ahead this much already on the economy as it is, I could care less about this. This makes me feel like this dude cut probes to do this, which is the same logic I was talking about, where if both players can make 20 in the same amount of time, but one player chooses to kill 10 instead, the guy who chooses to kill 10 and make 0 is still behind by 10. So it doesn't make any sense to be the guy who cuts economy to attack workers if you're not going to do it and all in with that. Like, don't cut economy is the point. And now look at the workers killed. We have lost 9 probes, yet we're ahead by 12. And now we get attacked again. We lose a few more probes. It's fine. At this point now, we have lost 12 probes, but we're ahead by 17. Like, our lead keeps growing throughout this game. And it's because if you look at the production, look at my production cycles for a second and look at Blue's production cycles for a second. There just is not probes being made. And now there is a third being made, but there's no probes. There's 2 probes. He's making probes. 1 probe. He's missing a production cycle on 2 nexuses. 0 probes. 0 probes. Okay, 2 probes, 3 probes. He's actually keeping it up for a little bit right now. This is good. He's doing a lot of probes right now. Now 2 probes, 1 probe. Now it's stopping again. It's stopping again. And what's happening? He's probably controlling an army right now. There's also a lot of probes sitting there. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah. Whenever you skip probes a lot, like over and over and over and over, that's one of the biggest things you need to work on. Seriously. That's the habit we need to develop. You know what I mean? We're going back to this is where we left off when I went and watched the probe count. So he brings the Phoenix over and he attacks my probes at my 3rd again. And then now for us, we're doing the pylon scouting thing, which is fine. He kills more probes than my natural, I think. It's just a couple here and there. So far now we've lost 14 probes. He kills more probes than my 3rd base now. Now that it's ground units, we need to go attack that. These are going to kill probes way faster. And yeah, I could have also been attacking his Phoenix with my Stalkers, but again, it's one of these things where it's like a fucking mosquito at this point. If it was mass Phoenix, like if this Phoenix count kept every time he showed up at my base, it increased by like 2 more, 2 more, 4 more, 2 more. I'd be like, okay, well, it shows up with 3, then now he's got 5, now he's got 8, now he's got 12, now he's got 16. Yeah, if there was mass Phoenix, I would have probably gotten like blink Stalkers and went mass Stalker with like Archon, and I would have chased the Phoenix around. That would have been the play, basically. But this 3 Phoenix opener he did never changed. It was always 3, always 3, always 3. And he's with his efforts, he's killed 2 probes with 1, 3 probes with another, and 5 probes with another. So in total, these 3 Phoenix have netted him 10 kills, and I would say also netted him a major distraction to do all of that. And it's exactly what I talked about. If both players could build 20, one player chooses to kill 10 and make 0. Even though I've lost 24 probes now, and I'm still ahead. That's why that happens. I'm still ahead by 12, even though I've lost 24. And you got to keep in mind, I haven't just been ahead by 12 the entire time. And the times when I was ahead by like 20, I was mining that much more for like maybe that 1 or 2 minutes of time, which is even more money I get ahead. And then how many probes have I lost now? I've lost 30 probes now. So at the end of the day, I've lost 30 probes, and I'm at 74 probes so far versus 69 for him. We're finally balancing out. But again, this is what I'm talking about with the whole, look at my supply compared to his supply. It might seem like this game balances out, guys. Where like even this, you're like, wow, ViBE, you've lost a lot more. He's only lost 4 units. You've lost 30. That's a lot of death. But again, if you take... going to the probe count, how we're similar, that is, you know, our economies now are really, really close. But if you take all the money I've made up to this point and add it all up, and all the money he's made up to this point and add it all up, and then you subtract both of our losses, I'm still going to be ahead. Because I've had more workers the entire time, so I've been mining the entire time at a higher rate. So all that money that I've been mining for the last 10 minutes, because I chrono boosted in the beginning and I've always kept a worker lead the entire game, all that money combined, when I have leads just like I do right now, adds up to more than the difference of 1,050 minerals. It is more. The lead that I've had is worth more than 1050. It's the lead that I have is probably worth about 8,000 resources or like 7,000 resources. And you're like, you might think that's exaggerating. You might be like, oh, really? I don't know about that many. Like maybe like 7,000, dude. That's a lot. Look at production facilities for him. He's got, he's actually got a decent amount of gates. He's got 12 gates. We have, how many gates do I have? Actually, I have less gates. Or no, I have 10. So he has a little bit more gates than me. In terms of tech, we have similar tech. We both have very, very similar things. We both have like all the tech to go to Archon. He has 1 Stargate. That's the only difference there. But I have a 4th base. I have a 5th base. I have cannon battery at every base. I have a supply lead of 40 already. Upgrade wise, I have level 1 weapons done. He is 1-1. My point is, like 7,000 might be a bit steep. I'll say 5,000. 5,000 is probably more realistic. If we add up all the differences that I have in terms of things that I've planted on the map before he has, and then the supply difference we also have, I probably have mined 5,000 more than he has. Realistically, if we do the math and add it up, what each unit's worth, probably 5K. Which is still a shitload. That's a lot. And then, you know, ultimately, we max out before he does. We attack. His supply is down to like 150 when we get there. So it's just like a numbers game at this point. We're making the same kinds of armies. He also has way too many Templar. I don't know what he's doing with these Templar. Like we made all of our stuff into Archons, so that's also really scary for him. Like he's not going to really storm anything. If he does, storm doesn't really matter against Archon Immortal. It doesn't really do much. So, yeah. Like it tickles Archon Immortal. Look at that. We don't like Archon Immortal just doesn't give a shit. And that's another thing where it's like another micro element into his play. This guy's a very micro heavy player. Phoenix harassment into storms. Like it's very, very micro intensive. And yeah. It's just not worth it. He played the flashy style, we played like the simple style, and we crushed. Yo, Pickles, what's up, dude? 1 whole year. Thanks again for spending some time talking at the airport way back then. Keep up the great work and enjoying the teachings. Butt lips. I remember butt lips. Thank you, dude. Hope you've been well. And I hope your mustache is just as buoyant as ever. Also, Hauler TV, thank you very much, dude, for the Prime as well. Appreciate you, dude. All right, boys, one more game. One more game. Uno más. Uno más. Uno más. Okay, we got a Terran. How do you know it's one more game to get to diamond? It's because we're like already capped out on the MMR bar. So if I win, it's guaranteed promotion. I need like 1 more point basically. If I lose, it'll be more games. When do you next plan to continue this? Tomorrow? Maybe not Protoss exactly tomorrow, but I plan to continue Bronze to GM tomorrow though. I'll do Zerg tomorrow. And judging by how Zerg took yesterday, it was 6 hours. It might just be all day Zerg tomorrow again. That shit took forever. Okay, so we're playing a Terran with Protoss. And if you're a Protoss player playing Terran, it's nice to wall off of Reaper spots on any map. And this is the Reaper spot on this map. You can jump right there. If you wall this off, suddenly the Reaper can only come from here, which makes Stalkers way easier to defend your base with. Why did it take so long for Zerg? Because I was getting sniped. I was not playing Platinum League. I was playing people who were sniping me. And it was happening quite a bit. I had to play 12 games instead of like 4 or 5. Okay. Yeah, no expansion, but there shouldn't be, honestly. Scout his base. Let's scout his overall gases. Build a quick core. No gas. Okay, so this should be an expansion, guys. This should be a 1 racks expand. So let's go ahead and expand ourselves. And there it is. Standard. Alright, to be honest, our expansion's a little late, I'm not gonna lie. But it's okay. You know, this shit happens, right? Shit always happens. But just know that I did build it late this game. As soon as I realized he was 1 racks, 1 gas, I should have taken my Nexus before my core if I wanted to play as efficiently as I could. Let's go ahead and chrono boost our gateway 1 time so we can have a stalker out in time for the Reaper to when it gets here. Okay, and now we can move our Stalker to the front of our base because that's the only way the Reaper can come in because we blocked off the Reaper cliff. So now the Reaper doesn't get to scout anything or kill anything. Suddenly the Reaper is no longer effective anymore. Oh, okay, he's going into my base. So we'll A-move him. He's going to sacrifice the Reaper essentially is what this means. There's no way out other than in a box. Death. Okay, so he scouted my tech at least for him, so he knows what I'm doing. He knows I went for a gateway and a core and a nexus. He didn't get to see my tech, but he knows that I'm playing this economically. Keep chrono boosting probes. Okay, so we did another mistake this game. Okay, I accidentally actually did not build a sentry for probably like 20 seconds. So we're gonna send a probe out to cover the scout. If you do that, this is a good idea. If you're like, oh dang, I forgot to scout, or I forgot to build a sentry, just scout with a probe. If it dies, it's not a big deal. But at least now I can see like if there's some shit that I need to worry about. We got a bunker and a natural. Okay, it's fine. We can go home now. There's not much else I can see at that point. That bunker also proves I got shot 1 time. I got hit for 24. Okay, the cyclone. That's information right there. But one thing that's kind of cool is you can calculate the math. This is advanced, so don't give a fuck about this if you don't want to pay attention to this. But if you're watching this and you want some cool facts, the amount of damage a bunker does in 1 hit is the amount of Marines that are inside of it, and that bunker did 24 damage. 1 Marine does 6 damage, so if you do the math, what's 24 divided by 6? That's how many Marines are in that bunker. It proves that there's a reactor on that barracks. Because it's too many Marines too fast. That's advanced knowledge right there, but yeah. It's something to know in the future. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into the next stage. Okay, we got a natural mineral line that's not the best looking. It's got like, looks like 8 SCVs on it. We got mech as a whole. Okay, so we're fighting a mech Terran. Okay, we were fighting mech, boys. So if we're fighting mech, okay, this is what I would recommend you do. 100% this is what I recommend you do. We can keep making immortals for now. We can keep making stalkers for now. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get weapons and we're going to get blink. And we're going to chrono boost these upgrades now. And this is why, because shit like this, he's going to kite me all fucking day with cyclones. Just keep building. Don't get distracted too much. Once we get blink, we stop this from happening. Okay, he's doing it again. Okay, it's gone. Let's take another base. Just don't get distracted. Make immortal. Make a couple stalkers. Let's make another hallucinated phoenix and let's try to get into his base and see if we can scout like the 3rd. Or there is a 3rd right there. I'm just kidding. We saw it the first time. So it's even more reason to take my 4th then. Okay, saturation's looking really good. Here he is again. Back up. Just run away for a second. Blink's almost done. Keep making units. Just don't stop making units. You can see as well, with how many command centers he's making, we're okay to keep making nexuses ourselves. Okay, back up. And now, it's getting to a point, we have blink now. So now, next time, we're going to just blink on his ass. And now we can start adding on some more gates because we're getting a lot of money. Like, our income is high.
I'm here in the shadows.
Okay, send 3 probes over to the other base too, and re-rally my Nexus. Grab these gates. Another great thing to do against Mech is throw down a Stargate.
We are one with
Stargates are amazing against Mech. I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. And let's also start getting weapon upgrades on both now. Air weapons and ground weapons. And we can get charged too on ground, like for zealots. Worker count, we're almost maxed, guys. Almost maxed. Let's go ahead and build a pylon out in front of my base, just like we did last time. So we can spot for future stuff, and we can even take another Nexus. Okay, he's here. Blink on his ass. Okay, back up. Make a round of Stalkers again. Make an Immortal. We can make another Stargate. We can make a Robo. Hold on, deal with this first. Get ready to blink on him. Wait till the last second and then blink. Right now. And then don't micro it anymore. Just don't worry about it. Just keep macroing. Don't fall behind. Start a fleet beacon. So, and then maybe a 3rd Stargate. So we're going to be going into 3 Stargate Tempest. And Immortals. Okay, go back here. Same thing. We can make some Zealots right now as well. Why not? Blink on him. We can blink on him again. He's still here. Okay, he's too far though. It's fine. Make some pylons. 4 probes are extra. Let's go to look at our 3rd. 4 probes are perfect. Cool beans. Take this base. Because we're fully saturated on like all these bases. We need to send our probes somewhere, you know? We're starting to mine out. Efficiency. Okay, now keep Immortals being produced. That's important. And then we're going to start making... we still also need to make Archons too, because look at our gas. It's huge. Once we get Immortals being produced and it's solid, we can go into Tempest. We don't want to make a lot either. We just want to make maybe like 6 and we're done. And then go into like charge lot Immortal or Archon as well. Yo, Zach Bowling, thank you very much, dude, for the 16 months. How you doing, man? I'm out of money. This is my last month for a while. Didn't get the raise I was hoping for. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, dude. Happy holidays. Thank you for stopping by and subbing again, dude. Much love.
I return to serve.
Okay, he's doing it again. So, same thing again, guys. Blink on his ass, and we can warp in some Zealots. We're A-moving him right now. We're not microing anything. It's pure A-move. Build the Nexus again. Blink on him again. Okay, so he just got completely kind of fucked there pretty hard. Blink on him again. Okay, that's enough. That was A-move and blink. A-move and blink. A blinking. We can send all our probes now to this base we have right here. Because it's fresh, it's ready to go. We can make new probes for this one later. Probe count's a little underwhelming. Let's fix it. Gotta make another like 4 or 8.
You require my skills.
Gonna boost my upgrades. Make Immortals. Now we can start making some Archons. We don't gotta make a lot, just a couple. We'll make more as we go. We're not making Stalkers really anymore for now. Like, Stalkers just got us to this point. Because he was doing aggressive mech shit, and Stalkers are great at dealing with that. With Blink. But now we're here, so... Now we can go into better units, because we can go into better, more expensive units. Let's take one quick second and go... Cannon, battery. Mineral line's good. Cannon, cannon, battery. Mineral line is not good. Fix it. We got 4 off. Cannon, cannon, battery. Mineral line is good. And cannon, cannon, battery. Good. Finally, cannon, cannon, battery. Good. Now let's go A move. Oh, he's attacking. Or is he attacking me? Okay, let's send out 1 stalker on each side of the map. Oh, he's here. He's here. Don't worry about it. Screw it. Observers, follow my Tempest, and we're just A moving. Macro during the fight. Let's make some Archons because we're lots of gas. Okay, that's the fight's over already. We want to maintain about 6 Tempest, which is what we still have, and just go fucking ham. And screw it. He just took a fight. Let's go push like what his third probably would be, just because we can make this faster. Observer, follow the Tempest. Now let's start increasing our production. Increase our production. Increase our production. Okay, that's a lot of gates. I think that's good. What's going on over here? Keep producing units. A move his expansion. Make some Templar for more Archons. And regroup my army and come down here and kill this base. Just A move it with select all army. Make an observer, follow a Tempest. Make another base, because our money is... Mineral field's depleting. Again. Worker count is still good, 84. Keep chrono boosting my upgrades. Okay. And at this point now, we can also, we have 21 gates and then a couple robos and other stuff. Let's start chrono boosting our immortals again, our robos, because immortals are really good against mech. Okay, so we killed this base too. Good stuff. Make some Archons. Let's regroup ourselves, and we saw a base over here with the last attack just because. We just happened to spot it. Let's move back. And let's prepare to attack that base next. We could even take a moment, honestly, to run a unit across the map really quick while we just finish maxing. Oh, we actually are maxed out. Let's just attack the whole top left side of the map. Just attack everything. Because what if he has a base up there? We don't want it to be ninja based for a long time. Fix my economy in the process. Oh, we just found him too. Good, sick. It's like I'm a map hacker. Looks like I'm cheating, boys. Let's make another robo. That way we can keep the immortal production flowing and also fix my economy saturation. Send him over here again. Take another base. And go to the top left. Make some zealots. Okay, nothing here. No, next base. Take my observer, follow a Tempest. So it doesn't run over Widow Mines and die. Fix my economy. Fixing my economy is still a priority here. We can make some more cannons here. And some batteries in case he pushes this side. So it's gonna hiccup, it's gonna make a harder, okay, it's nothing here. It's just gonna make it harder for him to push if I'm out of position. Okay, push the next base right here. Same thing, grab my observer and have it follow a Tempest. Nothing here. Grab my army, right there. Have my observer, follow my army. And look, he's going base raid style. So we had this idea a little bit too late, but it's fine. Now, we can take our army and go A move here, A move there, A move there, A move there. Grab my observer, follow a Tempest. Now only worry about defense. Everything I make is now for defense. And we have a lot of gateways to do this with, so we are solid. I can literally just throw shit at this army over and over, and I will eventually break it. Just go kill 2 units and die. Like I give a shit. We don't have to worry about our army attacking his base, because that's definitely doing the job. Make zealots. Have fun, zealots. Just make zealots. Make a new nexus. Make a new nexus. Select my whole army, attack his main, because now he's running away, and my zealots want to come up here and help. Follow my Tempest with an observer. What's my probe count look like? 70? We can fix that a little bit. You can definitely fix that up a little bit. Make it like another like 5 or 10. GG! GG! That was all macro, very minimal micro. It was just not freaking out, and it was just being like, oh, you want to play aggressive mech? Let's just absorb it and absorb it and absorb it, and then suddenly I have so much that I've absorbed it well enough, and I just have so much now I can just kill you at this point. Slight micro, but not much. Perfect response. Exact. Like, all we did micro-wise that game is every time we select the whole army and attack him, we make sure our observers are not running by themselves to go die. And we, in the beginning of the game, when we actually got Blink Stalkers, we only blinked at him, and that was it. Or we ran away from him when he was, when he would lock on and try to run away. We would also run away before we had Blink every once in a while, because if we just chase him, he can run faster than us. So it's like a losing battle. So if we run away, we might lose line of sight, and it removes the lock on. But once we had Blink, it was literally just every time we blinked on him, he ran away all the way, and then it was over. Okay. Stalker's chilling in the front. Yeah, this is so far again. From what we've seen, expansion, standard game. It allows, seeing that natural at the Terran's base, again, allows us to be safe chrono boosting our probes. We did make a late sentry though. And then we see the bunker. And then the Cyclone was a big one. That Cyclone was huge. It was a big tell that, okay, well, he made a Cyclone, so now he's going Cyclones. And then furthermore, we figured out even more by going into his main, because we didn't want to fly over the bunker now. You don't want to fly over a bunker. And also, now that he has a Cyclone, there's a chance the Cyclone might be sitting in his natural. We also don't want to fly over the Cyclone either, because if we fly over that, our thing's going to die super fast. Yo, Saul, thank you for this. Thank you for the raid, man. I appreciate you. Happy holidays, dude. Hope you're having a good December. And everyone, welcome. This is actually my last game as well, because we're going to get promoted here. This is Bronze to GM, what we're doing. And this is currently Protoss Diamond 3, or Platinum 3 to Diamond 1. So we're just kind of like breaking down the game we just played. And then that'll be that. But thank you guys. Welcome. Saul, thank you, dude. So we saw the Cyclone. We saw this Cyclone, boys, earlier on. We don't want to fly over it, ideally. Now we just want to kind of... We do want to check tabs on his natural, but we don't want to fly over the bunker. We're going to go through his main. And we actually see Command Center, Factory. So this says you are definitely not being aggressive, so this makes it really safe to have a Nexus. And on top of that, this also tells us he's going mech. Like double tech labs on double factories. This is for Cyclones, guys. And he's also even upgrading one of them too, which is even more so that he's going mech. It's actually not even a reactor at all. He just made nothing but Marines. He never made an add-on for this barracks. But yeah, this is definitely mech. And then lastly, we look at the mineral line and we go like this. Okay, well this mineral line looks like it's maybe about half. Again, maybe a half, a little bit more than half. Because the way you can tell if it's half is there's one SCV per patch. A little bit more than half is like a couple patches have two. This one has two SCVs have two patches. Or sorry, two patches have two SCVs. The rest have one. So if we look at his natural, and also he has one gas, as far as we know. Two gases now. If we look at his natural and we compare it to ours, we have two fully saturated gases and we have oversaturation on our natural. What this tells me is this game is standard. This does not tell me, oh, we're way ahead. Oh, we're way behind. It says we're probably playing like this is overall like kind of standard game, because this is normal for Terran to be a little bit behind Protoss in workers, and the fact that he has a third command center is also matching with our third base. Game is economy wise, game is somewhat even. I think in this game when I was actually playing it, I might have even said I was kind of ahead right now, but it's because I didn't realize he had a third CC. But if he does have a third CC, this game is actually pretty even, because being a little bit behind in workers is normal. Having a 6 worker deficit, that is normal for Terran. Anyways, moving on. So we know the position's okay for us. It's not a bad one, is what I'm saying. It's standard. The game hasn't really gone one way or the other yet. The game is anyone's game at this point. And we know he's going mech. We know he's going cyclones. So what do? We prioritize going and do weapon upgrades with blink now. We don't want to be dealing with cyclones like this for too long. And he actually just pops 2 of my stalkers right there, which is what he's going to continue to do if I don't get blink. So we lose line of sight on him right there. That's why that shit didn't die. And all we're doing is making probes. All we're doing is making probes, making immortals, and making stalkers out of our gates. We're not going crazy on production because he's not going crazy on production. He's going for economy. So we can get away with this. And as long as we don't just take this like terrible, repeatedly terrible fights where I just keep running at him and losing army, then we're fine. But if we look at economy tab again, we have 63 probes now versus 46. This is no longer normal. He is now going into the state, like this position where if we back it up a little bit, we're at 622 right now. Remember that. We back it up a little bit to when my Phoenix was in his base right here. His probe count in the last like minute and a half only increased by about 4 or 5. Our probe count increased by about 20. So this is what happens all the time when you get players who overcompensate for micro and they lack on macro behind it. If we look at production right now, again, it's 41 to 47 right now. Look at production. Look at SCVs for Terran. We are making probes the whole time. Look at SCVs. There's 2 right there. That's 2. No SCVs again. He's killing stalkers. No SCVs. There's 2. There's 1. No SC. There's 2 again. And 622 is where we stopped. Like, or right here. That's fine. Worker count now. It was 41 to 47 a second ago. Now it's 48 to 65. So that right there is why the Terran is going to start having a supply problem. He just wasn't macroing. He was not macroing nearly as much as he could, and look at the money. Neglect is what the name of the game is. And now at this point, we're getting really close to having blink being done. Whenever he overcommits like this, you know, our shit's on A move. Whenever he gets a bunch of lock-ons, we can try to run away. Because there's not really much we can do about it. But now, that was probably the final one. Blink's going to be done in the next like 10 seconds because we should chrono boost it again probably. If we don't, it's going to be done in the next like 15 seconds. But let's look at resources lost. It looks like he's kicking my ass again, right? You're like, wow, holy crap. He's only lost 2 units and ViBE's lost 8. ViBE's lost almost 1,000 resources over the Terran right now. That's a lot. But look how much I'm mining again. 70 versus 50. I'm mining. This is every minute. This is all game. For every minute that goes by, if we keep this pace we're at, I am mining more than the difference of this. Like if we were to say like if there was another one here that says like resources not mined, his over mine would be like 3,000 resources at this point, or maybe not that much, more like 2,500, probably. Again, that's the big thing, the mountain topic we always talk about. So we're ahead again for that reason. These are acceptable losses. But now we have Blink, so the next time he takes a fight, it's not going to go nearly as well anymore for Terran. Blink is going to start taking great trades, which makes Hellion Cyclone obsolete, kinda, for this stage of the game. So we gotta try to build a pylon. It dies. He shows up. He starts kiting me. We blink. We pop a couple cyclones. He kills some stalkers. But here's the difference. For every... he can make 3 cyclones every 32 seconds. And I can make... how many gateways do I have? I have like... I have 7 gates. He can make 3 cyclones every 32 seconds. And I can make 7 stalkers now every like 23 seconds. And if when we trade, I'm popping like 2 or 3 cyclones and he's popping like 3 or 4 stalkers, I'm still winning that trade. That's going to make me win overall.
I am here in the shadows.
So now he goes for the Nexus. We're out of position. We blink on him. We pop a couple of cyclones and a marine. We just instantly rebuild the Nexus. And yeah, we're just thinning out the cyclone count repeatedly. Over and over. And he's trying to make more. And he comes over here, does it again. We once again blink. Kill a couple more Cyclones. This base this time doesn't die because there's not enough of them. And now suddenly, you know, our army is getting really solid, and Cyclones aren't really able to do much anymore. This is the power of blink. But we're not done yet, right? We're not just going like, oh, I'm gonna go blink stalkers and this is it for me. This is where I stop. I'm a blink stalker guy, and that's all I know how to do. Blink stalkers are just a means to get economy. That's all it is. These immortals are really good. These immortals are going to be permanent. We're going to keep making them all game because they're amazing against mech. For ground mech, that is. And for like basic A-movie style compositions. But stalkers are going to get replaced. We're not going to keep making them anymore. What we're going to make instead is now we're going to ramp up our attack to Tempest, Immortal, Charge Lot Archon. So now our composition is becoming way more diverse. It's still very A-movable. But we're kind of just like, no more stalkers are going to get made. What we have is what we have. And we're going to replace it with better army. For him, he's going Hellion Cyclone. And it looks like he's going to be going Hellion Cyclone kind of all game. He has, and then maybe adding in a couple starport units here and there. But and again, these starport units are going to get shit on by Tempest. So it's lots of Hellion Cyclone. This is what you call Battle Mech. This is standard for Terran to do this. What Battle Mech needs to do for it to work properly is it needs to cripple the opponent. We're not crippled because we have a better economy than he does. That is the opposite of being crippled. So this position for us is really good. This is a great Protoss position now. And judging this game, we haven't really been able to scout too much of his expansions beyond this point. We know he's got the command center he lifted off over there earlier. So we know he's at the very least on 3 bases. But one thing we do know, though, is we do know that our economy hasn't really been touched too much. We haven't really lost a lot of probes this game. We've lost 8. That's barely anything. But we do know that he's going Hellion Cyclone, and he's losing his army now every time he fights us. That feels really good as Protoss. It's like indirectly scouting because... it's indirect scouting for that reason. Because Hellion Cyclone is a composition that does not trade well when it's equal supply. Versus better compositions. So we can see him again right here. And here's the exact example of that. And Golden Finch, thank you very much for the 7-month sub. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, man. Much love. Thank you. Welcome back. So we see he's attacking my base again with Hellion Cyclone. Every time he attacks us, this automatically tells us, okay, he's Hellion Cyclone. He's lost a lot of Hellion Cyclone up to this point, but he's not transitioning to something different yet. He's still just going mass Hellion Cyclone, which is why there's so much of it here. And then Witness, just like the army we have alone, a lot of Immortals plus Blink Stalkers. That's already decent against this. But we're transitioning out of Stalkers now because we're worried about what this could also turn into. Like if this turns into Hellion Cyclone Liberator, Hellion Cyclone, just ridiculous amounts of it. I don't know. Stalkers are good early in low numbers, but they get kind of shitty later on. That's why we're also doing that. Anyways, Witness. This Hellion Cyclone army is starting to get kind of smashed. And we just rebuild the Nexus. Just rebuild it. And he's still here, so all we do is we keep just blinking on him. He doesn't leave entirely. We're moving towards his army. Blink comes up, we blink once. And that's all we're doing. We're not actually like microing blink stalkers like to save them or anything like that. We're just all clump go. All clump go. And now we're in the Tempest phase. Now we're in that whole composition phase where it's now Tempest, Archon, Charge Lot, Immortal. And some of my stalkers are thinning out a little bit here and there, but again, even though we haven't scouted the map, the idea is, this is the idea. It's harder to scout the map properly when your opponent is constantly being aggressive. The only way you do that is with multi-prong. And in Platinum, we are not focusing on multi-prong at all. Multi-prong will fuck you over more than it will help you in Platinum League. So all we're doing is we're defending, absorbing. We're maxing out, and then we just go. That's the plan in Platinum. And we're defending really well up to this point. We are defending great. Every time he attacks, he might pop a Nexus, but he's taking like 5 Cyclone losses every time. And he's taking lots and lots of unit losses every time he commits to things. So, and we're also diversifying our composition to be better against overall mech. So things are going well. We now max out. And now is the time when I would say, this is when I would be like, okay, we can try to scout the map with like a stalker. One stalker on each side of the map, just like go run around the map and see where his command centers are. See how many bases he's actually taken. And we also made the cannon battery in case he were to go for something like Banshee or Liberator around my bases. This would help deal with those things. It would make it harder for him to just do things like that. But then as I'm done making cannon battery, he shows up with an army and he attacks me. So now he's here, and now this is pure A move. The only thing we do in this fight is we say select the army, attack like right here, just attack into his bulk of units. Don't click at a unit, don't ever click a unit when you do this, but just click in the area where his army is. Like behind him is also fine. Because if you click a unit, it's going to make all your units that have lower range have to run deep into that army to click on the unit that you clicked on. Or to attack the unit that you clicked on. That's bad. So yeah, clicking behind his army or something like that is great. And then all we do after we do that is we have our whole army selected. We hit tab to go to the next page. We hold control, click our observers, and we right click Tempest. That's it. Or you can physically select the army and you can click the number 2 right here and then click your observers with control. Right click a Tempest. You just don't want your Tempest to fly into their death because they will die, because observers don't have an auto attack. They will fly all the way in until they die. Something will kill them. And it's nice to have observers because this guy has already shown us as well that he is going Widow Mines. Observers are important in case he goes Widow Mines or Ghosts or Banshees. Ghosts wouldn't be nearly as likely right now, but yeah, Banshees and Widow Mines could totally be there. And look, he has Banshees and he also showed us he has Widow Mines, so great thing we have observers. And look at that fight. That fight ended before it really began. Like, I didn't even see what happened that fight. It was so fast. Our army composition is just solid as hell. And that's what happens when you have a nice diversified tech army of... We start with Stalker to be greedy, and then we just go into Tempest, Immortal, Archon, Charge Lot. Suddenly we just start shitting on Battle Mech like really hard. And there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about with the observers, where they can totally die. We lost one because of that. And now we're just chasing him kind of across the map, trying to find his bases. We find one. And just kind of let my army do its thing. Again, during this point in the game, are we staring at our army? Are we microing our army? No, we're not. We're making gateways in our base. We're making more another robo around my base. We're increasing our macro capabilities here because just a second ago we had like 3,000 minerals, and then we have in the economy tab 84 probes, which are being very actively mining. We're also making sure we're not oversaturated on any mineral lines. We're making sure every mineral line is nice and juicy, and we can even take another base here in just a second so we can transfer more probes around properly. We're basically preparing for the fact that if this army doesn't win the game, we're not banking everything on it to win the game, so that we can bounce back if this army dies immediately and we're good. And then some of my army gets caught up. This is the result of no micro. But does it really matter? Not really. Because, like I said before, if we prepare for the bounce back, we can bounce back pretty damn fast. And this is again the result of no micro. A couple more dead units that are expensive. But who cares? Because look at my supply. It's still maxed. Losing those few units is a who gives a shit. As long as we're maintaining good saturation everywhere. That's the important one. Like, this needs to be fixed. Fix it. Fix it now. Good. Look at the supply. Again, no micro. My army's sitting here and those Archons just Rambo to their death. Who gives a shit? Because we're maxed constantly because we have a lot of money. If you're platinum and you don't know why you're platinum, it's because you don't respect money. You don't respect that economy, and you never have enough army. I don't care if I lose a few units here and there inefficiently, because if I'm mining like a madman, I'll always be able to make more. And now this is when we had the situation where this army was on full A move. As soon as we realized this guy wanted to go for a base trade, this army is committed. We just A move all of his bases like shift A move, shift A move, shift A move. We have the observers following our Tempest so they don't run away. So I can still see Widow Mines without running over a missile turret or some shit. And then all the supply of probes that die and things that are dying over here, we just remax with all these fucking gates we have. We just keep throwing waves of crap at this army and it will whittle it down over time. Because look at the mining. Terran is barely mining. Protoss is mining a lot. So we can throw units at him all day. And look. Bunch of zealots. We know these zealots are going to die. We know these zealots are going to die. But it doesn't matter. What if you recall? Is that a good move? Yes, recalling is a good move, but what recalling would do is it would require multitasking. And I don't want you to multitask in Platinum League. Like again, that's micro. Multitasking is micro, and that will fuck you over because there is no way you're going to be able to handle 2 armies simultaneously. Well, all we're doing is we literally gave this army a command to A move throughout his base, and we're done. We never look at it again. So this army is on it. The AI is playing for me over here. We've created a situation where the computer is going to play the game for me in his base. And all we're doing in our base is we're just macroing units out. Zealots. Zealots. And then we just go over there and run at his army and kill what you can. Just kill what you can. But if I recalled, I would have to micro 2 armies at once because what could happen is if I really thin out my army over here because I recall a lot of it out, there might be a chance that he might actually have enough cyclones now to put up a serious fight against me. That is a possibility, right? And at the same time, I also have to make sure I'm not fucking my army up over here with another army, half my army fighting half his army over here. So that creates a situation where we need to kind of babysit 2 sides of the map at the same time, and that is not for Platinum. That is not Platinum level. That is Masters plus kind of. Because you gotta keep in mind too, what I'm doing here with my Zealots, he's doing the same thing with Cyclones. He's not just dead right now. If I recall a lot of my power out of the push, he could totally defend himself then. It is very likely. But if I don't recall and I just kind of let it happen, I can just constantly use the power of all of my macro gateways we just made. We made a fuckload of gates, guys, and this is the power of a good economy. I can just be like, oh, I can make 9 Zealots at a time. 9, 9, 9. And then it's just like Zealots kind of whittling his army down over and over and over. Which, look at this. We just killed the Hellion. We just killed the Cyclone. We just killed the second Hellion. And we did some damage to a lot of his front line. And look at what I'm doing again. I got a lot of gates. I can do this all day. I'm still maxed. Look at all these Zealots. And we've kind of whittled it down enough to this point. And we're not microing it either. We're just making them. And they're kind of microing themselves now they came back. It's enough Zealots that we actually, and it's enough gateways where we can just keep making enough Zealots to constantly keep throwing shit at him. And we just keep picking his units off. And suddenly he just doesn't have enough now. And now this is never going to beat constant Zealot weapons. It just won't. And this army is still not being microed. It's just doing its own thing, and it's kicking his ass over here. So we made the situation very A-movable. We did not make it complicated. Because we relied, again, on our macro. We relied on 100% on macro. Which is the golden rule of why someone is above or someone is behind the level of Diamond League. If you're in Diamond League, you at least know how to macro enough to get there. Your macro is good enough to be in Diamond League. If you have never been in Diamond League, or you're pushing to get Diamond League, or you're just not in it yet, but you think you will be someday, that's totally believable. I think anybody can get Diamond League, but if you're not there yet, it means your macro is not good enough, and you need to prioritize that more. Don't like every time, because here's a lot of thing. Here's a lot of the things that I read in chat, and this is where I'm going to leave it. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. So many times in my whole Bronze Gym series I've made, again, this time around, for the last week that we've been making it, I'll have something happen where someone will say, shouldn't you be doing this? Shouldn't you be doing that? And again, the recall thing was another example. It's something that requires you to micro. This is always what people will think. They always think I have to micro. The only way I get out of these problems is if I micro. Oh, I'm getting attacked by something over here. I have to micro. The micro can be something as simple as moving your army to the area and you're done. That's it. The computer plays for you. You just move towards the area. But when you focus on micro, when you're not a high level player, you literally don't do anything else. That is your problem. It's not that you say I want a micro. It's that in your case, you do not macro well enough already, and if you start microing, you just stop doing everything else. When a high level player micros, it is considered multitasking. When a low level player micros, it's considered tunnel vision. That's the difference between good and bad. And if you don't respect macro enough, you are a tunnel visioning player who neglects it all the time. And that's the habit you need to break. You have to break that habit, or you'll be stuck below diamond forever. That's how it is, boys. That's just a simple truth, honestly. But there's the promo. We're diamond. We made it. We made it, guys. So all I can say is diamond is here. Feels good. I will see you guys in Diamond 3 for the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like the video or subscribe. That's the first time that's like the first time I've really been a real YouTuber right there. I never say like and subscribe. I only say shit like peace out. But yo, guys, thank you for watching the video. I have a lot more like it. If Protoss isn't for you, don't worry. I have a Zerg and a Terran series just like this. So, yeah. Check them out if you're interested. But I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Have a great night. Subscribe if you enjoy it. And have a wonderful night. Peace out.